And there we are. Hello, everyone, and welcome to a somewhat unplanned wine stream. Those of you who were here a little while ago know that I did an unannounced secret little wine stream just for a select few, in which I thought I would try to do it sober. I tried to do a wineless stream. That didn't go over so well. I don't think I was really performing at my best. And well, for that matter, I was getting kind of grumpy, just like a certain dragon out there. So I've decided I'm going to do this bonus stream with wine. And in order to make up for earlier, I have one of my favorite Rieslings here. This is Peter Mertis Platinum. And the reason I chose this one is because it comes in a particularly large bottle, as you can see. So this one should do perfectly well. This is about a Tianlong size bottle, but it's mine now. All right, here we go. Let's see. You don't need that. And you all remember my friend the wine rabbit here. I wish Caraway were here. He would like to see the wine rabbit again. This goes here. It goes like this. This comes up like this, and you go near. And there we are. Thump. What a nice big bottle. And then zoom. Pull the rabbit's ears. And one has the cork. The wine rabbit. I highly recommend it. Okay. And yes, indeed, this is a public stream, Zragon, or Zragon. Hi, how are you? So, bottoms up. Maybe I better put this on the floor. It's going to go thump every time I do this. Cheers. It will do. I'm terribly sorry, Tianlong. If this was your bottle, it must have gotten mixed in with mine by accident. Very, very sorry. These things do happen, though. I'll replace it for you. Like that line from Sweeney Todd. At last, my arm is complete again! Randomly, I have no idea what you're talking about. Lick my pants to get the wine out? You're being silly. And I very, very much hope this one is recording. We had a small issue with the last one. Had it not been for Furry Foxes, it would have been lost. Thank you very much, Furry Foxes. You're a darling. And I will let you buy me all the wine you want as a reward. Fasten your seatbelts, everybody. It's going to be a bumpy ride. So, gee, what can I talk about that I did not talk about earlier? Hi. Hello. Good to see everyone. Although I'm not really seeing you, I'm seeing a camera staring at me right now. If I want to see you, I'm going to come down here. But then, as I said, you know, I don't want to be one of those streaming people that is always down here. Hi, welcome to my stream. I am looking down now while I stream at you. That's silly. A performer should not do that. Oh, and there's much more people. Let's see how many people are here. Whoa, okay, yes, there are much more people here than before. Oh, well. If people want to announce it, go ahead. Yeah, we'll see. James Blue Jay asks a very good question. What is everyone drinking this evening? Talk among yourselves. I know what I'm drinking. Grumpy Tianlong, who are you calling an asshat? I'm almost worried at what the answer will be. And if he insists on calling me an asshat, I shall throw this right back at him. No, I'm not an asshat. I am a classy hat there, you see. I bought this when I was in England at SunnyCon, as a matter of fact. If you're going to be in England, you might as well wear something to make you look English. And I do love this hat. This is not an ass hat. This is a class hat. It goes along with the lovely cufflinks and the French cuffs that I'm wearing. Shane Greattail, do I have a monocle to go with that? I do, in fact. It's in my suitcase still. The French gave it to me at Eurofurence. The problem is, it's a stage monocle. What people see passes for a monocle. One of those things you kind of have to squint to keep it in your eye. Proper molecules, proper monocles in the old days. Yeah, you can get the cheap ones you had to squint with, but they actually had this little spring-loaded like thing that would fit in your eye socket, so you didn't have to do that. If I was going to get a monocle, I would get one of those. Of course, then I would have to get a chain and a vest to wear the monocle on. And if I'm going to have the vest, I might as well get a proper jacket to go with. And, well, you see, you have to have the entire wardrobe. And a cane. I do have a cane, simply because I'm old, right? I gotta tell you. On Monday, I'm going to go see an orthopedist. This arm, as I told you before, has been giving me a significant amount of trouble. When I was looking around for orthopedists, most people pick their orthopedists by looking at their suggestions and who's in this network and what have people said. I looked around at orthopedists, and I picked the one for me. On Monday morning, I am going to go see Dr. Wine. I'm not making that up. An orthopedist named Dr. Wine, W-E-I-N. I am so there. Nom, as BBF would say, nom, 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 nom. Does anyone know if BBF is going to Midwest Fur Fest? I very much hope so. I don't get to see him often enough. He's a darling old friend. Last time we were together, it was two old guys reminiscing on the porch. We were sitting down having a drink. I can't remember which of us said, "Do you realize we've known each other for 20 years? I think he said it, because then I think I said, "Shut up!" Yeah, that's pretty much how the conversation went. So we've known each other now for 21 years. Okay. I can't wait to see Dr. Wine. Dr. Wine is not the one who stuck the electric needles in me or tried the shock therapy. That was a different doctor. Maybe good I'm going to this different one. I feel so much better. Right. Oh, Congo Cheetah, hello. I'm so glad you made it here. You will be getting a link to what was done earlier. I think I answered every single one of your 1,000 questions that you sent to me, but thank you for sending it along. You kept me from being bored. In fact, that'll be along this evening, probably. Yes, James Blue Jay said you saw those pictures. When I saw that gadget, oh my God, you would think that in a modern medical office they'd have something that was kind of chrome and shiny. This thing was half a step up from a car battery with 2 alligator clips on wires coming out of it. It was frightful. Maybe I won't talk anymore. Maybe I'll just sit here and drink. Because when I'm making noise with my face, I'm not putting wine into it. You see the conundrum I'm in. Oh, James Blue Jay, I'm going to read back up. Do you have a pocket watch to go with it all? Yes, James, I do have a pocket watch. It was my great-great-uncle's, and it sits right over there. It's a little tarnished. I'd probably have to go get it tidied up. Oh, Silent Dawn is 9% drunker than me. Cheers. Grumpy Tianlong tells me that BBF will indeed, or we strongly suspect will be, at Midwest Fur Fest, at which point we will sit down and we'll probably say again, you know, we've known each other now for 21 years. And I'll probably say something stupid like, gee, the people who were just being born when you and I met can now legally drink. Age, it's a sad thing. Don't let it happen to you. Oh, Gummy Bjorn wants to know, how was work? I did enough to realize that there's a challenge with the current project I'm working on. There is a possibility we're not going to get it out this month. When you're going through and you find somewhere along the line there is a fundamental error in calculation that completely changes all of the results, well, that's why they call it science. And a shame that science is forever the slave to business. I would love to take my time and do things properly, but I can't. We must bill by the end of the month. The customer's waiting for it. We must get this out. When will it be finished? Tell me when it'll be finished. You say there's no way it will be finished? Find a way. Yes, welcome to the modern world of industrial science. And this is a good opportunity to mention all you kids out there who want to send me emails saying, can I ask your advice on my career? The answer is no. You don't want my advice on your career. Believe me, you do not need my advice on your career. Talk to somebody who knows what the hell they're talking about, not somebody who completely fucked his own up. Well, let's not talk about that. Let's talk about happier things like Qianlong nomming on BBF's camera, which is always fun. And wine. We can talk about wine. If I go through this bottle, I have some more in the refrigerator, but I honestly don't think I'm going to go through this bottle tonight. If I do, yeah, okay. We'll give it a try. No. I wonder what exactly lag is here. Someday I'm going to measure it. I'm going to have like my face over here while my other face is over here. But I suspect there's about a 5-6 second lag. So you guys are seeing me in the past. I exist in your future. I'm from the future. It's pretty much the same as the past. Don't believe the hype. That's good stuff. Oh, Dragon has an eye. He says, say ping. Okay, let's time this, all right? Here it comes. 3, 2, 1, ping. 4.17 seconds. Not bad, not bad. Shane Greattail says, let's have a news from the future. I don't do that anymore. What Shane is talking about is something I used to do on the 2 Cent Show. 2 had, as part of the 2 Cent Show, a segment that I did, News from the Future. Those of you who remember that, yeah, that was me. I was also Eddie Shalofsky when he filled in, so if you were wondering about that, I was him too. But I did News from the Future for quite a few episodes, and I eventually had to stop because what I would do is I would come up with the most idiotic, stupid stuff based on current events. How could things go completely down the shitter and just get completely silly? And I would then, that's the news from the future. But then when the stupid, crappy, shitty things that I started to playfully predict started to happen, it didn't get fun. I remember somewhere, and maybe we'll go back to the archives, I seem to remember talking about President Donald Trump. You don't want me doing news from the future. I think that I'm like an evil prophet and don't know it. And I did, yes, I talked about President Bush in this time. Oh, gosh. I really don't want Donald Trump to be president. I generally don't like to talk politics among friends, but he scares me. Some of the things he's saying, oh, we need to round people up. We need to give them identity cards. We need to register them. I've heard about that sort of thing. It wasn't very popular in its day. What was it someone recently said? It was a really good quote. It's Godwin's law stops when you start registering people or you invade Poland. Besides, the rest of the world will not take us seriously if we have Mr. Bad Hair in the Oval Office. I mean, president has to look presidential. Maybe I could be president with my amazing hat, and the monocle, which I shall buy, and the pocket watch, which has to be tidied up a little bit. Oh, and the vest, which I need to get so I can attach the pocket watch too. Nah. As I recall, I believe it was John F. Kennedy was the last president to wear a top hat on the way to his inauguration. It is a fib, by the way. It is a myth that men stopped wearing hats because of John F. Kennedy. There are plenty of pictures of John F. Kennedy wearing a hat when he was out in public. The fad to not have a hat on had kind of started up just as his administration was getting off the ground. I do wish it would go away. I think that men look good with hats. You know, hats, as many people have said, sometimes make the man. It was Frank Sinatra himself said, hats are attitude. The way you wear your hat, if you wear it kind of back here, if you wear it down over your eyes, you wear it kind of this side, that side, up and down, you can do this. You can say a lot with a hat. Gummibjorn is in Denmark. Yes, stay there. Trust me, you don't want to come over here right now. Although I just picked up a bunch of euros for Eurofurence coming up, I really hope that I timed it well, because right now the euro is at $1.07. This is the lowest I've seen it since it first came out. So I picked up an entire pile of euros, and if I'm lucky, it'll go back up to 160, and yay, I made out. Of course, with my luck, when I go back to Europe, it'll be down to 15 cents, and oh well. Oh, Gummibjorn, my opinion of your hat and the way I wear it. You wear it well, my dear boy. And Striker Chegwar agrees. Striker Chegwar is a fedora person. I started out as a fedora person, and I branched out into different hats. I still treasure the fedora, but the bowler actually, I think, suits me even better than the fedora does. Let's see, do I have around here? Yeah, hang on, I'll be right back. Yeah, I just got a bunch of these things here. These are, I still am going to get these out to people. These are the drawings I did last month's Winestream that I still have to scan and send to folks. And yeah, Gummibjorn, he thought he was going to be clever. He thought he was going to put me on the spot. He said, I want you to draw me from memory. He wanted to see how well I remember what he looked like. Okay, well, there you go. That's what I drew. There's lovely Gummibjorn for you. Remember, Gummibjorn, there's a saying in furry fandom, don't fuck with Uncle Kage. You're not going to win. Okay, there you go. But thank you very much. It was a lot of fun doing that. Oh, Chan has to go. Goodbye, Chan. Have a good dinner. I'll talk to you later. Oh, James Blue Jay wants to know who ended up winning his drawing. I don't remember. I'll have to look. But the other thing will be done soon. I'll upload it tonight. That way you can watch it. And of course, YouTube over here is doing that dickweed thing that it does. It gets as far as 95% and says, I'm processing, and it sits at 95%. Well, yeah, it's lying to me. It's actually finished. Let's see. Put on the window. Yay. And then I'm going to close the window where they say, for God's sake, don't close this window. Yeah, I'm going to close the window. You know why, YouTube? Because you're a shit. That's why. All right, here we go. Yeah, YouTube can suck my dick. There, we're done. I'll let folks know where it is. And Furry Foxes, once again, thank you so much. When I did the last one, the only thing I can think is that I either clicked something or I did something silly because I had exactly 58 seconds and then it just stopped. Now, I do notice that the computer had gone to sleep just before I started the stream, and I woke it back up. And it was then that I noticed that this stupid open broadcaster here likes to revert to its original settings when the computer goes to sleep. I don't know if that's just me or if that's a feature. I don't like it. But Furry Foxes saved the day. He kept the entire show, which we will have uploaded. Oh, Ketvig is here. Now, is that a person named Ketvig, or is that the entire village of Essen-Ketvig in Germany come to say hello? I'd like to know. No. And everybody says hello to Ketvig. Hello, Ketvig. See, Ketvig is a village that I know very well. It is in Germany. It is just outside the city of Essen. It is an ancient little town, quite beautiful. That's where a number of the folks who are in charge of Eurofurence tend to hang out. It is absolutely gorgeous, very, very picturesque. And the funny thing is, the Germans don't appreciate it. I was there around the holidays, and Night Fox was with me, and he was bemoaning the fact that that they don't have Christmas cards over there the way we have over here. And he was saying, I wish I could have something nice to put on a Christmas card. And I said, dude, look the hell around you. I mean, you are living in Germany land here. You know, just take a picture of the wreaths on the doors in the snow in the 1,000-year-old church. And he said, but we piss on that church when we're drunk. I said, it doesn't matter. Take a picture of it when you're not pissing on it, okay? Or take a picture of it when you are pissing on it. Some people might be into that, but it's Christmas. We are all friends, right? Oh, it is the entire town of Ketvig. It's Tani, Night Fox, BBF, Telekom, and Orga. Hello, Alice. Very, very good to see you. You would not have liked the last wine stream because I didn't have any wine. But for this stream, I have wine. I have mine. Yes. This is, by the way, a lovely Riesling aus Moselland. It is Peter Mertes. No, I'm sorry. It is aus Rhineland. This is Rhine wine. I only grabbed it because it's a baseball bat-sized bottle. So, I am so pleased to see my friends from Germany. They are some of the dearest people in the world to me. I don't just say that because they give me wine. These are absolute darlings. And since BBF is there, BBF, your ears must have been burning because I was, as we say, taking your name in vain about 15 minutes ago, telling these folk about the conversation we two old men had when we said, hey, do you realize we've known each other for 20 years? There will come a day when we're going to be sitting around with our colostomy bags in our wheelchairs saying, hey, we met 50 years ago. Oh, good Lord, I just hope I'm not sober then. And Gummibjörn says, schönen guten Abend, zum die liebe deutsche Leute. Yes, I agree. James Blue Jay, what's just next to Germany? France, of course, at least on a part of it. They got Belgium, you got the Netherlands. On the other side, you got Poland, you got the Czech Republic. Denmark is somewhere up top. Denmark is kind of like Germany's hat, really. Furry Foxes says, I'm in Alsace, spelled in a very American fashion. And the devil points out that we also have Liechtenstein. I just love to say Liechtenstein. It's a fun name. Incidentally, if no one has seen a beautiful little thing that's on YouTube, even though, as I mentioned, YouTube is the shit, but if you go to YouTube and you look up German versus other languages, it's a ton of fun. They basically take a collection of words and they have people in their various national dress speaking the words in their native language. For example, we have a Spanish gentleman, we have an English person, we have a French person, we have an Italian person, and we have a German. And they'll say words like hospital, and you have hospital, hospital, hospitalia, Krankenhaus. That's what German sounds like to us. One glass down. Now, I mentioned that I've not been lifting weights of late. I don't need to because I got this thing. Oh, this is definitely a two-fisted bottle. Oi. You know, I think there's a category for this on Fur Affinity. Okay, let's put this down here. Oh, yes. And Schmetterling! Once again, you guys talk among yourselves. If I am talking, I'm not drinking you, so. There was another one. Cinderella. We have Cinderella. Because the name is very similar in the other Romance languages. We have Cinderella. We have Cinderelle. We have, I don't know, it's all some versions. Cinderella, 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 Delia, and then Aschenputtel! Leave it to the Germans to come up with that. Striker Chegwar, I'm going to quote my dear friend To the Ranting Griffin, who is not known to be the most politically correct person in the world. He said that when he hears German spoken, he just expects Rammstein to come out and start beating you with swastikas. That is Hakenkreuze. Gummibjorn notes that German is a nice language. The grammar is quite, he says, advanced. Bass backwards, that's the word I would use. I cannot figure out German grammar because they put words randomly in the sentence. There's no rule to it. You just put a bunch of words together in whatever order you want, and somehow the Germans will understand you. Now, let's see. And James says, that's good stuff. James can understand quite a bit of it. Well, that's because you can somehow deconvolute it. If you were to directly translate a German sentence into English, you just wouldn't be able to understand it. You know, coat my shoulders, put on my was. I didn't know. But we used to make fun of that in Pennsylvania because die Pennsylvanische Deutsche, the old German sect, which you guys call Pennsylvania Dutch. No, Pennsylvania Deutsch. Their dialect, when they speak English, they do tend to translate things somewhat directly. So we would kind of giggle when an old Amish gentleman would show up at the bottom of the stairs and say, "Throw grandfather down the stairs his hat." Shane Greattail says, you want bad grammar? Try speaking Welsh sometime. No, I don't really want to have my tongue surgically slit in order to speak Welsh. I can't. Oh, James Blue Jay. Yes, you live in Mennonite country. It is lots of fun listening to them talk, isn't it? Let's see. Yeah, check over here again. Pardon me. I just want to make sure I don't forget about this here. Blah, blah, blah. There's me. Go to, yeah, there it is. Idiot manager. It's still giving me trouble. Okay, we'll worry about that later. Oh, Belarus Sparkle says, in the brony fandom, German bronies are scary good at making high-quality pony stuff. Okay, we'll take your word for it. I really don't know. Let's see. And yes, Shane Greytail agrees. You have to have your tongue split to speak Welsh, especially when they make a sound like that. Oh, there's a Wombles fan. Hello, Wombles fan. I still recall listening to the wonderful accent when I was outside of Newcastle, when I was in Sunderland, as a matter of fact, for SunnyCon. A wonderful, wonderful way of speaking they have up there. I learned what a chav is. We would call it a hooligan over here. Chavs are kind of like hoodie punks who wait on a street corner in gangs and then stab you when you go by. But I was all excited. I saw a bunch outside and I ran out and said, "Oh, my goodness, you're chavs, aren't you? May I have a photo, please?" So they were cool about it. They took a picture with me. And then they took my camera. James Blue Jay. Oh, we're in Northeast England. My wife's family is from Sunderland. Then send them to SunnyCon. I'm going to be there in June. Let's see. Silent Dawn, enunciate using phlegm. Well, if I keep pouring the wine down my trachea, I'll be able to speak it very, very easily. Shane Greytail, an antisocial behavior order. That's ASB, or that's an ASBO. That doesn't sound like chav to me. Gummy Bjorn wants to know how dinner was. Well, I didn't get to have a proper dinner because things did run late at the lab. I just had to stop and grab some Boston Market, which is almost fast food, but at least it's nutritious. So I threw that into my face and then followed it up with a chaser. And Wombles fan says, I get to learn proper Geordie. I'm working on that. Man. Yeah, when YouTube stops being a prick, I will send a note out to everybody, and I will upload this one too, although I should probably wait until tomorrow, because I have a feeling that when this one is finished, I might not be in a condition to upload it. So, okay, all you Ketvig people, let me see a show of paws. How many are going to Midwest Fur Fest? How many will I see in a week and a half? I'd like to know, because seeing you makes me sublimely happy. Let's see. Waiting on, okay, 4.17 seconds. Yes, and now they start typing. While they're typing, I'm going to have a sip. Nom nom. Only BBF and Cheetah. Oh, that's a shame. I won't see, well, okay. I will still be happy to see BBF and Cheetah. See, Cheetah and we have a lot of fun at Midwest Fur Fest because neither one of us is running it. So we can kind of sit back and drink at the bar, and we really turn into dicks because, you know, something horrible will happen and security's running down and we're sitting there saying, have a little problem there, are you? Cheers. James Blue Jay, I'd love to get to Anthrocon some year. So would I. I hear it's a blast. Silent Dawn, who's chairman of MFF? I don't know. There's a new chairman this year, and I can't recall who it is. They switch chairman every couple of years. Now, let's see. It'll come to me. I'll call you up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I just remembered the chairman is this guy. Let's see. Congo Cheetah, wish I hadn't asked all my questions earlier. I got nothing now. Well, I got no answers. Oh, yes. The folks who can't figure out, it is Woody. Woody has taken over Midwest Fur Fest. And Shane Greytail says, in probably not the best German, but nicht mein Volk, nicht mein Problem, nicht mein Kon. Sounds good to me. There is a saying that the Dorsai use, which I have adapted, and I sometimes even use it at work. It's a wonderful, I think it's a Polish expression, which works in any language. It basically says, this is not my circus, and these are not my monkeys. Nom nom. This is for BBF. Nom 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 nom. I feel better already. Spaz wants to know, how many languages can Kage say wine in? Well, there's wine, there's vine, there's vino, there's wine, there's... actually, it's wine in most languages. Strangely enough, in German, it actually is Wein. You would think it would be something like, Pute trinken, but it's not. Then there's the universal tipping of the empty wine glass. I don't know what you mean by tipping of the empty wine glass. When I tip an empty wine glass, I'm trying to say, would someone please buy me more? That's what the tipping of the empty wine glass is. Reshere, you're incorrect. I will be at MFF. They simply have not asked me to do any performances. That's their prerogative. It's their con. I'll have more time at the bar. So I will not be performing in MFF, but I will be there. Next question. And Furry Fox says, empty wine glass does not exist. Oh, but it does. It does. And it's a sad, sorrowful thing when it does. Oh dear. I have seen empty wine glasses. There are children starving in India. Their wine glass is empty and void and filled with dust. If only someone could fix it for them, just not me. I'm very selfish. Nom, nom. Ah, there it is. Yeah, YouTube with your 95% processed. It's processed. I'm looking at it. Yeah, screw you, YouTube. All right. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Got the science geeks out here. Well, the glass is never empty. It always has air molecules in it. Well, guess what? Fuck you. All right. You know what I meant. Silent Dawn says, my chocolate just exploded. I think that I can safely state that I did not anticipate him saying that. That came as a complete surprise to me. I hope it's not serious. All right. Well, jolly good luck with it. Let's have a look and see who is here. Lots of people showed up. Boy, we got me, we have Belarus Barker, we have Gummy Bjorn twice, we have Furry Foxes, Silver Gato Man, Arctic Zero, Shane Greytail, James Blue Jays, Rygon, Striker Jaguar, Silent Dawn, Terror Rage, Raino Lee, Silent Dawn, Light Cow, Lucifer, Steel Wolf, Spaz, Congo Cheetah, Ketvig, Volvilius, Wombles Fan, Reshere, and Chaosy, you made it. Oh, it's so good to see you. I actually, let's pull something up here, blah, 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 where the hell is it? I did a drawing earlier for Chaosy Chaos, and I wanted to make sure, let's pull this crap up here. Type, hopefully it's not. Gee, Windows 10 says, wondering what's new? No! You screwed me up so bad last time, you piece of crap. Don't tell me I want to know what's new. I'll tell you when I want to know what's new. Okay, how's that? Let's see. Oh, yes, Chaosy Chaos. I drew a picture for you, the one that you wanted. You wanted me to draw a picture of me carving a wino lantern. I'll email it to you. And it'll be on the previous stream, you'll see. By the way, I must give a shout out to my wonderful patrons. Some of them are in channel, some of them are not. I got the list of patrons here. The patrons are Bugler Base, Congo, Floopy Snow, Shook and Flash. We have James Blue Jay. We have Silent Dawn. We have Silver Gatamon. We have James Peach. We have Zygon. We have Silver. We have Chaosy Chaos. There again. We have Gummy Bjorn. We have Blackfoot Ferret, Furry Foxes, Raina Lee. We have Depp. We have Caraway, we have Striker Jaguar, we have Glitch, we have Bossosaur, we have Firefox, Jimbo Land, Terror Rage, Bentley Shepherd, and Red Reese, or Red Rise. I don't know, but it looks like red to me. So, my thanks to the wonderful patrons who make this possible. And not only do they make it possible, but they make it possible for me to make it kick ass. It is the 21st of November on the second weekend of December. It'll either be the 12th or the 13th, one of those days. We're still trying to figure out if it's going to be Friday or Saturday. The amazing, the astonishing, the immortal, the Vulpine Fox Amore is going to be here in my very own dining room, and we will be doing the stream together. And fortunately, he'll be drinking Guinness, of which I have found a supply. So I will have the wine, he will have the Guinness, and hopefully a lot of fun will be had by all. So mark your calendars. I will let folks know well in advance if it will be Friday or Saturday of that weekend, but Fox and Moore will be here to join us and hopefully share some music with us. Nom, nom, nom. Let's see what's going on here. Is there room for his keyboard? We're hoping to borrow one. I said, staring at the person who offered to get one for us. We're hoping to borrow one. Let's see. Oh, yes, the wine glass problem. The optimist says half full. The pessimist says it's half empty. Spaz just wants to know what's in the glass. See, here we have a glass which is half full. It might be half empty. My point is, this is unfulfilled potential. Let me take care of that. Prost. Damn, this stuff's good. I don't see my face anymore. Let me put my face. Yes, there's my face. Oh, got to show you guys something. I hope Naomi made it back. Thanks to the generosity of my local friend Chitabengo and Naomi, they made a present for me. Chitabengo conceived it, Naomi brought it to life. It is a necktie, and it's the one I'm wearing right now. I'm going to hold it up so you all can see. Now, if you do not recognize the bird on the tie, I shall simply tell you, this is an albatross. It's a subtlety, so I can wear an albatross round my neck. I like to wear this to work. It sort of speaks volumes. And James Blue Jay would like to know where I got my cufflinks. Hold them up so you can see. These cufflinks were a gift from Doc Rat, who does the strip www.docrat.com.au. He is an Australian family practitioner. He is a practicing physician. And I actually asked him, I said, so you practice medicine? And he said, no, I do it very well. That's his brand of humor. But Doc Rat is a physician who practices in Australia, and he draws the Doc Rat comic kind of to point at some of the foibles of being a doctor these days. But these lovely cufflinks that he got for me, I treasure. I don't get to wear them very often, but I thought I would wear them for the stream. See a little paw print there? This is the furriest cufflinks you will ever see. Do I read N-Town too? I don't read N-Town as often as I should. I don't have a lot of time to read webcomics, so Doc Rat certainly all the time, XKCD all the time, Kevin and Kel naturally every day, and then others as I get the time. I do tend to be a very, very busy person, unfortunately. And Spaz says, The Mariner, I've read that. Yes, Spaz knows where the albatross comes from. Furry Fox says, Doc Rat, the last one. Doc Rat, D-O-C-R-A-T, that is correct. .com.au. There's a wonderful line in the Ancient Mariner. When I'm out walking in the dark, at night, this line comes to mind. Like one who on a lonely road doth walk in fear and dread, and having once turned round, walks on, and turns no more his head, because he knows a frightful fiend doth close behind him tread. Damn, this is good. It got quiet again. Damn this 4.1 second lag. There it is, yes. www.docrat.com.au. You know, I probably could have typed that in too. I am so damn lazy. I apologize. I should have fixed that for you. Congo Cheetah. Best day at work I can remember. Yeah. The best day at work that I can remember from my last job was the day I left. I tried to be professional. I didn't want to make it look like I was happy to be leaving, but I was dancing around, skipping down the hall, giggling like a schoolboy, running into people's offices saying, "I'm out of here. Bye!" I wasn't very happy with that job, you might say. So that was the best day of it, was getting out of it. James, worst day at work you remember? That will take some thought. I've had a lot of bad days. Up there would be the day at the last job where we got the pep talk, the speech from the new supervisor. Somebody thought it would be a good idea to take the former director of sales and put her in charge of the laboratory. She didn't know dick about science, but she thought she did, and that's dangerous. She gathered all of the senior staff in to a conference room. And she walked in, we were all crowded in there, and she gave a speech. Now, some speeches you only have to hear once, and they're burned in your memory. John F. Kennedy's speeches, the speeches of Abraham Lincoln. This lady's speech burned into my memory so that I can recite it even now, 3.5 years later. She walked in, she looked at all of us, and she said, "You know, I hear that a lot of you aren't happy. Well, there's nothing keeping you here. If you're not happy, do something about it. There's 50 people outside waiting for your job." Boy, talk about a motivational speech. She motivated me right out the goddamn door. Best decision I ever made. Let's see. Yes, Shane is remembering another exit from a job. That was the previous job. I've had a bad run of jobs. See, my problem is I'll get into a job with a really, really good company, and things will be great for a couple of years, and then shit starts to happen. The one company, they got sold. They got sold to an interest from, let's just say, an offshore company. And the culture changed. This offshore-based company felt that it was actually more cost-effective to pay the government fines for not doing things right than to do them right in the first place. I couldn't really work in that environment. The second company, that was also great until bitch woman got in charge. You know, let's put the sales director in charge of the lab. She pretty much lashed the whip until I'd had enough. I'm happy in the job I'm in now. I hope that lasts. I hope this company doesn't do funny things. Yes, the life of a contractor. Oh, Shane, oh my God, you're thinking back to Alenka. Good Lord in heaven, that goes way, way back. Another circumstance, when I was working for dear old Dwight down in Arkansas, incidentally, about 6 months ago, I got a phone call from Dwight's daughter. Those of you who remember the stories of Dwight, as soon as I found out who it was, I said, well, is this the phone call I was always afraid I was going to get someday? And she said yes. So dear old Dwight has departed. He was one of the best bosses I ever had, and I loved working for him. Until the company in its infinite wisdom thought that I shouldn't report to him, I should report to this, Yugoslavian death squad leader that was masquerading as a chemist and was there to torment me. God. Oh boy, Spaz, you are old. You remember the story of Bears Den Bio and the overflowing toilet. Oh, my Lord of mercy. Yeah, I was really hoping I would never have to think of that story again, and it's all coming crashing back. Thank you, Spaz. I can thank you for the nightmares I'm going to have tonight. Okay. Oh, yes. Well, for those of you who don't know the story, the boss of the company was, I guess, a good businesswoman, but not really altogether there. This particular company had rented a property. It was very, very cheap. Oh my goodness, it was dirt cheap, cheap as free. And they were very, very happy because, oh, we're getting this wonderful office and laboratory facility and we're hardly paying anything for it. Well, it wasn't long before we discovered that this particular laboratory office facility was located at the lowest point in the county. If you were to look at the topographic maps, this is down in a valley, and this particular office is at the very bottom of the valley. It's at the lowest end of the sewer line. So if any of the drains were to back up, a siphon effect would be initiated, and the entire contents of the sewage lines of the county would start to exit into our facility. The boss lady clogged the toilet one day, and then she just decided she would just leave it there. And I happened to look out my office door. Remember the scene in Titanic? It's a very powerful scene when you're looking up the hallway and there's this water creeping up the hall inch by inch, closer and closer. That's what I was seeing. Except the water was not nice, crystal clear, clean Atlantic Ocean water. I've not eaten hot and sour soup since that day. Believe me, it was traumatizing. Let's change the subject, may we? Thank you very much. Oh, Bella Rose, you have a good question. Do I have any good memories of Anthrocon 2007? The answer is no. I don't have any good memories of any Anthrocon since 1999. I am so focused, so absolutely fixated on the things that require my attention, which are usually horrifying things, that I don't actually retain anything else. I've had dinner with friends. Ask the Ketvig people. I think I did this to them. I was having dinner, and then halfway through dinner, I just stood up and walked away. And later they found me and they asked, and I said, "Oh, it's so good to see you. When did you get here?" And they said, "We had dinner together." And I said, "When?" It's gone. I'm sorry. I feel awful when it happens. I don't know how many times in a given con I've run up to Tanya Darial and said, "Oh, I'm so happy to see you." And she's quietly said, "That's the 4th time this weekend you've said that." Because I am far too busy paying attention to things that really need my attention. Ask Cheetah. He'll tell you. It's very similar. No. And Shane points out, yeah, people come to me and they say, "Do you remember me from Anthrocon?" The answer is always the same. If I remember you from Anthrocon, that's not a good thing. Let's keep it that way. Oh, dear me. By the way, I know my chair creaks. Is it very loud on your end? I'm always worried that the chair is like going in the microphone here. I could put some WD-40, but I really do like to rock. Old people like to rock, right? Oh. Good, you don't hear it. I'm going to sit here and rock in my chair. Incidentally, the folks in Ketvig, it is like after midnight for them, and They could be partying, they could be having fun, they could be asleep, but they're here watching me. I really am grateful. You guys are fantastic. Thank you very much for joining me tonight. Belarus Sparkle wants to know about my character Kagamushi, as in hobbies, personality, etc. He is a retired warrior, basically a retired samurai. He lives a quiet life. Hobbies, he paints. As samurai, we're into art. His personality is very similar to mine, a little more serious. When he's sitting, he kind of looks like a little six-armed Toshiro Mifune, you know, but I really couldn't pull that off. No. Oh, and Shane has to run. You need to be up for work in 5.5 hours. Go to bed. You will need your sleep. Remember, 621, but thank you for joining us tonight. Very, very nice of you. James Blue Jay would like to know, do I skate? I do not skate. I have exquisite balance, but not on skates. I don't skate. Thank you very much. I like my bones where they are and connected. Like how? What conventions are you currently planning on attending in 2016? That's a good question. Let's run through the list. Let's see. Convergence in Melbourne. There'll be Convergence. I'm thinking about going to Biggest Little Fur Con because I've never been, and people tell me it's fun, and maybe I should check it out. I'll be going to Motor City Fur Con. I'll be going to Confuzzled. I'll be going to Anthrocon, of course. Indie FurCon, never miss Indie FurCon. Eurofurence, I very much hope yeah, they'll have me again. I really would love it if I got invited back to Arizona FurCon, because that is a blast and a half. Oh, SunnyCon, I forgot. I'm going back to SunnyCon in June. It's going to be a little tight. There's going to be right back to back from each other. There's going to be Confuzzled, then SunnyCon, then Anthrocon. So it's going to be a busy month for me, but I'll survive somehow. So those are the ones come to mind. James Blue Jay, no cons in Canada? Remember, they don't pay scientists like they used to. I would be willing to bet that there are some folks with bachelor's degrees who've only been in the business world for 2-3 years who make more money than I do. That's the way of science these days. But I usually can only afford to go to a certain number of conventions a year. The rest, if they invite me to be a guest, that's great. You know, and then if I'm a guest, I'll work my butt off for you. But if I'm not a guest at a convention, I've got to ration that money very, very, very tightly. I also, as an American, have a limited number of vacation days. Fortunately, conventions come around weekends, so I can take 1, maybe 2 days off. But when you think about it, out of 19 days off I get a year, Anthrocon takes 5 of them. Eurofurence takes another 5. Actually, Eurofurence takes 4. I'm sorry. Australia, that's going to take 4. Well, that's 14 right there. So already we're starting to get kind of tight. Gumi Bjorn says, so no wine streams that month? Probably not. Then again, I haven't looked at the calendar. We'll have to see how it turns out. I can feel the wine working its way from my veins into my head. It's an amazing feeling. It must be a bizarre feeling. It's a delightful feeling, my boy. It is a delightful feeling. I love it. Oh, yes, Gummibjorn gets 25 days. Yes, you are a dick. Thank you very much. Spaz would like to know, were you pleased with the outdoor part of the fursuit parade this year? Was I pleased? Pleased doesn't cover it. I was delighted with how it turned out. We were not ourselves 100% sure if it was going to work up until the time we did it. But when I went outside and saw those 5,000 people holding up the placards, say, "We love Anthrocon," and heard the cheers, and the fursuiters got into it, and it started out as a parade, then it kind of became a quasi-party as they were going around. It was a smashing, unqualified success, and I could not have been happier. I remember that. Believe me, I remember that. The only two parts about the fursuit parade, if I could do it any different, I would. I would put a gatekeeper at the door. In fact, we might do this next year. I need somebody at the door to grab, for example, the guy who thinks it's appropriate to carry the rebel flag to kick up trouble. He's not doing it to make any statement. He's doing it to be an asshole. I'm sorry. I would also want to grab the gentleman in the spandex who forgot his codpiece that day. Other than those two, I think it was an unqualified success. And Lucy Fur says 33 days off. Go to hell. Well, he's already there. Well, go away from hell, you. I might have to refill this in a moment. Now everybody's talking about the amount of time off they have. 25 days, 33 days. Are there any French people here? French people get a lot of time off. Now, admittedly, what folks don't realize is Americans tend to be paid higher salaries than our counterparts in Europe, but the trade-off is vacation time. We might only get 10 days of vacation a year, whereas our friends in Germany or France might get 5 or even 6 weeks, but they tend to pay us more. Then we got to pay for our health care, but let's not go there. Oh boy. And Coney says, what do we French people have? You didn't understand. Okay, Coney, I have a lot of colleagues in France. All I know is you can't get any of them in the month of August. You can't get any of them in the month of December. And you can't get any of them anywhere in May. It's like, guys, where are you? Oh, we're on vacation. Oh, okay, that's nice. How nice, yeah. Time for a refill. A hefty refill. Prost. Oh, Belarus, what are you doing talking about the prison cafeteria? We're doing our best down there. What do you want us to do? Boy, after this afternoon, drinking all that water, oh, God. I said it before, I will say it again. I'm going to quote W.C. Fields when he was offered a glass of water. He said, "I don't drink anything that fish fuck in." Okay. Guivbjorn says, "Can I be so private as to ask you what you make an hour?" Well, I shall tell you on this public channel. We'll talk about it some other time, okay? Nom nom. People are talking about water and acid. Oh, yes, that was earlier. Since I got desperate, I couldn't have any wine. I broke out the wine vinegar because I figured it used to be alcohol, so according to the theory of homeopathy, it should still get me drunk. It didn't. It just kind of made my face pucker. James Blue Jay says, "That was so gross." I concur. It was very, very gross. It was an act of desperation. But you notice I opted to drink the wine vinegar and not the Bad Dog 2020 that is sitting in my refrigerator. No, that's cleaning fluid. That you put that in your radiator. You don't drink that stuff. And now they're talking about exchange rates and blah-de-blah and who. Boring. I'm going to another sip while you guys talk exchange rates. Furry Fox says, is it true that any kind of acid is bad for the human body and basic stuff is better? No, it's not true at all. I don't know where you got that idea. Your body is acidic. Your body has a tendency to lean toward the acidic. Your blood tends to have a pH that is a little bit acidic. Your stomach sure as hell is acidic. Wine is acidic. Some of the best things out there are delightfully good for you. DNA, it's an acid. No, that is utterly ridiculous that acid is bad for you and base is good. If you want to believe that, I'll mix you up a nice glass of lye. How's that? Oh, Silent Tone says, talk about tigers. I could. Tigers are cool. They're very, very stripy. And as Bill Watterson pointed out, you have to be careful with tigers because when they lie on their backs, they're pointy at 5 of their 6 ends, so you have to be careful when you sneak up on them. James Blue Jay, what is my favorite Beethoven symphony? The 9th. Absolutely, I say that without hesitation. I adore the 9th Symphony. I remember they played it at the concert when Germany was reunified, and it was a wonderful, wonderful, moving and memorable sound. The fifth is overplayed. That's the problem with it. It's a great symphony, but everybody plays it. Plus, they made a disco version of Beethoven's Fifth Symphony in the 70s. Once you do that, you can never look at a song the same way. Next question. We must have a small audience tonight because normally they're being rapid fire. I guess, yeah, because we didn't announce this, we don't have that many people. Let's see, any new folk join in? Pretty much the same folk, but that's not a problem. Congo Cheetah, favorite Renaissance era philosopher? Rene Descartes. I don't know if he was a Renaissance era. No, he wasn't. Let's see. Oh, Spaz, yes, 1812 Overture. Any piece where they use field artillery as a percussion section in a crowded orchestra hall, that's okay by me. I've always tended toward unsubtle music, especially when it comes to classics. I like thundering, unsubtle classical music. Tchaikovsky, Wagner, the stuff that just really gets your blood going. This, Brahms, that's okay to put you to sleep, but I like stuff to wake you up. Bentley Shepard asks a very good question. What percentage of your vacation time goes to conventions? 100%. I spend all of my days off of work at conventions. That's what I do. It's what I do for fun. Like how? Interesting question. My favorite comedian of all time. If I had to choose my favorite comedian, boy, it's going to be a toss-up. I guess I would have to say Bill Cosby, a brilliant man. Say what you will about his personal life, that doesn't bother me. It doesn't distract me from the fact he is a brilliant comic. Maybe he's an asshole. Maybe he did the things that they say he did. I don't know. I wasn't there. But it's a funny thing about me. I guess I'm kind of old-fashioned. I still cling to this outdated notion of presumption of innocence, which seems to have fallen by the wayside these days. But no, I still respect Bill Cosby for his comic genius. I tried to emulate it. He taught me a good deal of what I know about making people laugh. Coney Corgi, or just Coney Koyes. Since you spend all your vacations at conventions, you must travel a lot, don't you? Yes, I travel quite a lot. I travel enough on the same airline, United Airlines, to have quite a lot of frequent flyer miles built up. Many of you know this, and if you don't, I shall tell you. The secret to traveling in style is to, every time you travel the same airline, because you build up those miles. You get to the silver preferred level, then you get to the gold preferred level, then you get to the platinum preferred level, and then you get to where I am, the amazing super colossal gold, silver, platinum chairman suck my dick level frequent flyer. That's the SMD level, and I have that card. Resture wants to know, do I do any volunteer work, disaster coordinator, raptor rescue? I don't have the time or the energy I used to have. Between furry conventions and my job, I put all those things aside. We'll let the younger, more energetic folk pick up the torch. It's time I relaxed. Spaz notes that George Carlin was good. George Carlin was also a genius. A little grumpy at times, but a genius. He certainly knew how to get a laugh. Victor Borge. The big three for me, Victor Borge, Bill Cosby, and George Carlin. My own comedic style has little facets of all three of them rolled together. If you pay attention to it, you probably can pick them out. Dargan is here. Dargan looks like you spelled dragon wrong, but hi, Dargan. Good to see you. Jack Taylor is here with whiny. Yes. Reshere says, wine is not a comedic style. You haven't been on these wine streams before, have you? Steel Wolf, do not say that on an airplane these days. You'll get in trouble. He just greeted Jack Tail. Yes, everyone's saying it now. Yeah. Oh, Jack, you weren't paying attention. I did the wineless stream earlier in the day, and it was so boring. Nobody had any fun, so they demanded I come back this evening with wine. So I have come back with a vengeance this evening. Any other questions? And indeed, Jack, you're a day late, $1 short. You should have been here early in the afternoon. And Silent Dawn is right. I was just going to go to work, and then I was going to come home, have a quiet dinner, and go to bed. And people are like, no, we want you to do a stream with wine. I'm like, oh, for Christ's sake, I don't want to do that. They're like, no, we insist you must do that. Oh, okay, why not? Oh, there's Dark Lurker. Hello. Excuse me. Yes. Yep. Yeah, this is just for Dark Lurker. Yay! Hello. Hi. Good to see you. Okay, all right. Put that aside. Ha! No. Oh, Dark Lurker, quit crying. You want me to sing the song? I will. Yes, the furries cried out for a drunk Kage. I wonder if I still have. At some point, I should look up the verses that I spoke at the wedding of Night Fox and Tunny, reading from the book of Schn. I'll have to dig that up sometime and read it off to you. For you, those religious types out there, you might appreciate it. It's one of the few sermons I've ever given in my day. And Nork Lurker says, it's okay. Yes, said the savage, destructive dragon, who is terrified of my singing. I guess that says a lot about my singing, doesn't it? Oh, that is so nom. Distinctly nom. Wait a minute. I think I have the Schn verses on my phone. I'll be right back. Just let me check on something here. And Coney Corgi would like to know, have I ever been to a fur meet / convention, something furry related in France? I have been to a fur meet in Paris. When I was in Paris, we did get together with some local furs, and we had a kind of little, I don't know, Parafuricon, something like that. And Gummy Bjorn says, my singing is the hit at the local Deaf Institute. Oh, isn't that nice? Wait. I think I just got zinged. All right, let's see if I can pull up this stupid, phone. Well, I hate this thing. All right. Somewhere in here, I've got, like, documents and weird things like that. All right, storage. I got to go to the here and the there and the wow and the who. Boy, this might take me even longer just to find it than it would be to. Just screw you people. You want me to install something? No, okay. You guys can suck my dick. I'm not going to install nothing on your account. All right. What's this? Is that it? Is that it? No. Oh, hell, I'll find it one of these days. Let's put that crap away. Belarus Sparkle. Oh, perhaps the reason why the stream is so calm and boring is, if the stream is boring, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bore you. I'm going to check an email thing here. Pardon me a second while I look at some email-y crepe stuff here, because I want to find that. I want to read it because I think you guys will like it. If I can find it, and if I can read it. Where am I going next? I don't know. Where do you want to go today? Screw you where I want to go today. Do I want Google Chrome? No, fuck your Google Chrome. Incidentally, I don't know if you guys remember, there was a Microsoft commercial years ago. Remember Microsoft? They used to say, "Where do you want to go today?" Well, somebody came up with this great Microsoft commercial where they were playing this wonderful classical music. They were playing one of the oratorios, the Requiem, and they came up, "Where do you want to go today?" And they didn't pay attention to their Latin, because while the thing was coming up saying, "Where do you want to go today?" the oratorio was singing, "When the damned are confounded and thrown down to hell." It's like, yeah, that was Microsoft, and still is Microsoft, actually, now that I think about it. All right, let me look up something here. I'm typing, pardon me. That's no, I don't need that. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, no, that's not it. No. Oh, yeah, well, this might be it. Oh, it is, as a matter of fact. Well, look at this. Let's open this crap up. Let's see. I can. What would you like to open this with? How about anything that will fucking open it? Okay, thank you, Microsoft. Just open it with whatever I need. All right, let's see what I got here. Yes, here it is. I was very, very honored. A couple of years ago, when Night Fox and Tani got married, they asked me if I would officiate the ceremony. I hope it's okay with them. I hope they don't mind, but I I have the verses that I read on that wonderful, glorious day. And since we have some folk here who might be religious, I'm going to read it to you now. And again, I hope the folks in Germany do not mind. Okay, that's not the one I want. This is a reading from the book of Schn. It is chapter 28 and chapter 29. It begins with a Latin, pardon me, a bit of Latin. Pedicabo ego vos et irromabo Schnolf petice et cinede vopis. Chapter 28. And it was on the third day, upon the mountain known as Bibamus, whereupon Jehoshaphat was to be wed unto Chloe, that a great sadness was upon the people gathered there. For the man who had been summoned to perform the wedding ceremony had consumed all of the wine, and lay drunk upon the ground, and of wine for the people there was none. And the people therefore tore at their clothes, and they beat at their breasts, and did proclaim, This sucks. Then the stranger did appear unto them, saying, Take you this, the stomach of a sheep, and place into it some water, and you will witness a true miracle of God. The people did place water into the stomach of the sheep, as the stranger had told them. And when they drank from it, they were amazed to find that the water was still water, except now it tasted of sheep. And the people spake, saying, WTF. And Jehoshaphat did say, Who the hell is this guy? Chloe, did you invite him? Not I, Chloe did say. And the stranger was cast out by the people with many pointing things and gnashing of teeth. And as the people hung their heads in sorrow, at that time from the wilderness there did appear a fox. And all those who beheld the fox stood in wonder, saying, Lo, it is a fox. How cute! And the fox spake unto them, saying, Be not unhappy, for behold, I bring tidings of great joy. To which the people answered, Holy shit, a talking fox! How cute! Then the fox did produce a vessel which was made of green glass, and upon that glass there was the image of a sacred stag. And the fox spake, saying, Take, drink, and be happy. And Jehoshaphat and Chloe did drink, and their hearts were filled with happiness. To the fox they said, O fox, we are happy. May we have more? And the fox said unto them, Only the first one is free. After that, I'm afraid I must charge you. But I can make you a special deal if you sign a delivery contract quarterly for a minimum of 15 cases. And if you sign today, I'll throw in the chiller at no extra charge. And Jehoshaphat and Chloe did sign, and all the people did drink, and all were happy forevermore. The book of Schn, chapter 28. Back to the world of dreams. What do we have down here? Gummy Bjorn says, Belarus wants dirty suggestions. How about inviting Belarus to join us in a threesome in Berlin next year? Let me have a little more of this before we talk about that. Oh, Zragon. Zragon says, Kage, my glass is empty. I need professional assistance. What is the correct way to proceed? Well, fill it, dear Henry, dear Henry, dear Henry. Well, fill it, dear Henry, dear Henry. Fill it. And Restoray says, I'm slowly metamorphosing into Peter Lorre. I don't know what you're talking about. That's very insulting. I suppose I should be insulted. He is his man. He says I'm turning into Peter Lorre. Steel Wolf got it. Thank you very much. Okay, so what are people yipping and yapping about now? Silent Dawn wants to know what's cuter, Tanya Night Fox's wedding or telephone and radio's engagement. I actually did not witness telephone and radio's engagement, so I really cannot say. I do know Tanya and Night Fox, they had the absolute wonder of having the cast of Bitter Lake as witnesses. including Colonel Raiden Dreer, who is one of the hottest things out there. Oh my God. Look at the character of Colonel Dreer. For one thing, he's 19 feet tall. He's a black wolf. He's just kick ass. It's like, whoa, I love that guy. Arctic Zero, did you have any problems stealing the pedestal for the camera from the lab? No, that actually, I've had my possession for about 15 years now. The laboratory was, shall we say, not going to be there anymore. So I thought, well, who's going to know if I help myself to some stuff that's just going to wind up in the dumpster anyway? Let's see. Yes, so now they're a radio phone. Yes. Thank you very much, Gummy Bjorn. Quit trying. It ain't working. Let's see. How's the crowd out here? Oh, Ketvig is still there. Ooh, I think I upset them. Dragon filled the glass. Well, that didn't take a rocket scientist, did it? And indeed, I've been on the radio before. It was interesting after Anthrocon to come back and find a note on my desk from one of my colleagues, a very, very elegant and erudite lady. She'd written a note saying, "I heard you on NPR." Imagine her shock. She's happily driving home from work and she's listening to NPR and she's listening to All Things Considered. And all of a sudden she said, "I could swear I heard your voice on the radio." And I couldn't figure out why. And then they said, "and this is Dr. Samuel Conway." And she said, "Oh my God." So yes, my colleagues know about furry. What do they think about it? I guess they think it's fine. Why do they think it's fine? Because I'm not ashamed of it. And if I don't treat it like it's something shameful, they're not going to treat it like it's something shameful. Skål, they say. Yes, Proud Furry is amazing furry. I'm thinking back to Arizona FurCon, which I was at not very long ago. Telephone was down there. Okay, if To the Ranting Griffin and I are performing, there's a very limited number of people we'll let crash the performance. Telephone is one of them. It's just adorable when she just comes in. We just absolutely have to stop. Because, let's face it, Telephone is like cuteness embodied. Coney Corgi, have you any idea why the fandom is so much hated in the USA? It's not hated, it's misunderstood. Why is it treated the way it is? Two reasons. One, we gave the world a bad impression when we first started out. Two, why do people look down on the fandom? Because there are so many furries out there who treat it like it's a horrible, deep, dark secret. And as long as they present it that way, that's how people are going to think about it. Once people grow the fuck up and stop acting like, "Ew, I can't let anybody find out I'm a furry," maybe, just maybe, we'll start to earn the respect this fandom deserves. But I've always said, we are our own worst enemy. And James Blue Jay is asking the Europeans, does the fandom have the same problem over there as it does in North America? I shall let the Europeans answer that one. You have all of Ketvig. Hey, Ketvig, question from James. Does the fandom have the same problem over there as it does in North America? I'll let you guys handle that one. I'll be over here. Oh, is Dark Lurker still here? Dark Lurker, you still here? Yay! And the Germans say, no, it's not that bad. They're people of few words. I love it. So, okay, it is not that bad. Why? Oh, maybe because, remember, America was settled by a bunch of frickin' Puritans, and we still have that attitude. You know, the European attitude toward sex is a lot more mature than the American attitude. They don't seem to be afraid of it. We seem to be terrified of it. Bossosaur, where the hell you been? I've been wondering where you've been at. Hey, Bossosaur's here. Hi. Ah, yes, many people still don't understand there's a difference between furry and bestiality. Yeah, is there a difference between anime and pedophilia? Ask them that one, see what their response is. Spaz says, try living in Alabama. Nothing's okay here. Spaz, I'm 50% Alabama by birth. I feel your pain. I used to spend summers down there. I can tell you what Montgomery and Selma were like in the 60s. If you think it's bad now, you didn't see it then. I'm looking at what people say down here. Yes, all you people who are watching this on YouTube, sometime in the future, hell, for all I know, it's 25 years from now. I might even be dead, and you're watching this ghost out there. Why is he staring down at the screen? Why? I don't know, maybe I'm watching porn. You'll never know because you weren't here. Cheers. By the way, Jack, are you going to go to Confuzzled and or SunnyCon this year? It'd be nice to have a drink with you. I'll even let you buy. Yes, I'm looking down to see Silent Dawn say meow. Meow back to you too. Nom, nom, nom. Do I have anyone in your life who's currently addicted to Candy Crush Saga? I probably do. I don't know it. Generally, I don't hang out with people who constantly have their noses in video games, because if they're going to do that, I'm going to go do something fun. Jack has no plans for either con. That's okay. I'll have somebody else buy me a drink, and that'll be in your honor. How's that? Sorry, Jack. Oh, and Coney Corky is going to bring me some good French wine. Alsatian wine, please. I love this stuff. Hello, Nyarian. I didn't see you earlier, but I'm glad to see you here now. So I really hope I don't piss off any of my patrons. I sent them this kind of frantic email a couple of hours ago saying, hey, I'm going to do a stream like right now. And I hope they don't like come back in a few hours and say, I missed it, because then I'll feel bad. But this will be up on the YouTube. Now, it is a funny sort of thing. I kind of made a joke about it before, but it's something I do think about. I'm all over YouTube. Let's face it, there's hundreds of videos. Look up Uncle Kage. There's some videos I wish they'd take down. But is YouTube going to last? Yeah, YouTube is forever. No, remember LiveJournal was forever. You know, all these things, they tend to come and go by the wayside. But you know, the internet, let's face it, at least as far as we can tell right now, the internet does seem to be forever. Yeah, there's stuff that's on there goes back to the 90s that people haven't looked at for years. There will come a time when I go to my reward, whatever that is. And it does kind of weird me out a little bit to think, you know, are people 50 years from now going to be looking at these videos of this creepy old guy from, you know, the last half century, you know, babbling away and drinking and saying, gee, I wonder who the hell that was? Nobody really. So all you future people who are looking at me right now and saying, who the hell was that guy? You know, I'm just a creepy old guy who drinks too much. My entire generation was just like me. Probably at some point, if I'm still around, and if you want to look me up, I'm probably in an old folks home, rocking on the porch and muttering and bitching about these damn young furries today don't know how it was back in our day. Yes, that's me. Oh, and Yaren is going to hang out a bit, then go to bed. I'm going to do the same thing. Oh, you're going to a Christmas carnival parade. That's delightful. Taking fursuits to the Christmas carnival parade. I love to see fursuits out at public parades because that's fun. That's nice. That's what I want the public to see. James Blue Jay would like me to try some Ontario wine someday. I would like to try some Ontario wine someday. We are on the same page. We are in accord. Let's do it. The silliest thing in fandom. Ever seen a person with a PhD wearing a hamster? Yes. Yeah, there's that old story again. Somebody photoshopped a picture years ago and tried to make it look like I was wearing a Hamtaro costume. It's the silliest thing. Don't pay attention to it. It's a big lie. Next question. What else do we have here? What's beyond gray muzzle? Well, there's white muzzle. There's bald muzzle. There's decomposing muzzle. There's skeletal muzzle. Skeletal muzzle. I'm pretty much getting close to skeletal muzzle right here. Yeah. Coney Corgay, do you ever consider having a suit? Look up Chester Ringtail fursuit someday. I wore the Chester Ringtail fursuit for a number of years until too many people found out it was me in it, and then it was no fun anymore, so I gave it away. So the Chester Ringtail suit is now in the possession of somebody else, and now I will not tell you who. Jack Tail wants to know if I'm going to be doing karaoke at Confuzzled. Jack, I have never in my entire life sung karaoke, and I don't intend to start at Confuzzled. Let's see. Oh, yes, they talk about the unknown furry. This was something I did. It was in August of 2001. Yeah, I remember that. I was at a little con in the South, and I was going to attend, but I didn't have a fursuit, but I thought it would be fun to go in disguise. So I got a paper bag. Now, in the 70s, there was a guy who was called the Unknown Comic. His shtick was he wore a paper bag on his head, and he would do his comedy routine wearing this paper bag on his head. He was the Unknown Comic. So I got this paper bag, and I cut 2 eye holes in it, and I took some thin pasteboard and made a cone out of it and stuck it to the front so it was this conical muzzle, and thrust some pipe cleaners through the end of it to make whiskers. Then I cut some kind of leaf-shaped pieces of another bag and stapled them to the top for ears. And last but not least, I went to the dollar store and I went into the discount dog toy bin. There was a large length of rope with a knot at each end, and I just kind of stuffed that up under my belt and let it hang down as a very, very cheap tail. That was the most expensive part. It was a $1 fursuit. The entire idea was that I would attend this convention. Oh, I also wore just a ratty t-shirt and jeans and bedroom slippers. I would attend this convention and I would fade into the background and I would be unnoticed, and then I could be at the convention and just be an anonymous face in the crowd. It didn't work that way. The Unknown Furry very quickly developed his own fan following and was constantly surrounded by fanboys, and it's like, oh my God, I can't get away from it. Let's see. And Silent Dawn says, yes, I will own another suit when somebody can make a cockroach suit that is cuddly. It's hard to make a cockroach cuddly. I mean, they're kind of adorable in a sort of greasy, disease-ridden way, but it really is hard to make them cuddly. Let's see. Spaz, you're saying Photoshop Biz. And sillier than that would be if you stuffed Griffin. Spaz, you are speaking nonsense. I don't understand what you're trying to say. I think you've had too much. Maybe it's time you went to bed. The Ketvig folk are going to bed. It's 2 a.m. over there. Thank you very much for joining me. You know that I love you all, and I look forward to seeing at least 2 of you shortly. And who knows, if fortune smiles upon us, maybe I'll see the rest of you sooner than later. Prost, and good night. While they're going, I am going to refill the glass from the bigger than a bowling pin size bottle of wine. Auf Wiedersehen. Oh, Bossasaur says, I've been scaly all my life, but only really got in the fandom proper at age 37. Now I'm a 41-year-old gray muzzle. You're a kid. Do you have any advice on being an older furry who's just now getting in the fandom? I don't know what advice I could give you other than enjoy it. Savor it. Furry fandom's for everyone. It's not just for young people. It's not for old people. It, by its very nature, can be for anyone. You know, just because you're a gray muzzle doesn't mean you can't be part of it. I mean, look at this. Look at this thing. I'm part of it. Hell, my parents go to furry conventions. There's this still lingering concept that furry is somehow exclusively for the young. Maybe it is, the young at heart. That's all you have to be. You know, as long as you haven't forgotten how to dream, you can still be part of the fandom. Jack Tail says he found a fursuit for me and he's given a link. Let's have a look at this. Yeah! No. No, and yeah, okay, how about no, Jack? Thanks for the thought, but no, I don't think so, no. Good. Oh, boy, that almost put me off my feet. And boss, you're still young. Hell, I said to somebody recently, anybody under the age of 35 is still a kid. Anybody under the age of 20 is a fetus. Drax is here. Hi, Drax. Yes, I see all these people clicking on that link and I get the same response. Yeah! Yes, thank you. Thank you, Jack. Yes, we needed that. Oh, Drax. Drax says you're a year older. What does that mean? Drax, do you intend to tell us that it is your birthday? Is that what I interpret? Is this Drax's birthday? I'm waiting for the answer. It is Drax's birthday. Okay. All right. We all must sing for Drax's birthday. Are you ready? Okay. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Marikitara kyat Singapura sama sama menuja bahagia cita cita kita yang mulia berjaya Singapura. Happy birthday, Drax! Now waiting for Dark Lurker to drop his teeth. Yes, Dark Lurker groaning in 3, 2, 1. He must have fallen asleep. Oh, well. So, yes, that was just for Drax. Drax, by the way, you probably already know, but I'll tell you anyway, that lovely orchestral music that has become the theme of the Winestream, Drax created that. And he sent it to me just, out of the blue, and I'm ever so grateful to him. Drax, I will certainly allow you to buy me a drink the next time we meet. So as the crowd slowly, I notice we are getting a gradual more and more people. I don't know if people are coming by first stream and looking and seeing, oh my gosh, there's people here. What is going on? Oh yeah, somebody gave Drax a free for his birthday. Oh, now wait a minute, hang on. Drax says It may be the excessive amount of booze talking, but I love you all. Drax, I've seen you. You must weigh 110 pounds soaking wet. What do you call an excessive amount of booze? You know, did half a can of Guinness make its way into your gob? I have to know. Oh boy, oh, what did I start? The entire channel is going bree now. It just goes, there it goes. Oh, Kane Koywolf. Hello, Kane Koywolf says, I saw one of your wine streams and now I'm in love. I hope not with this. Oh, good heavens, you need professional help. But this is one of my wine streams. And Drax says, oh boy, 4 pints, half a bottle of red, 4 double vodkas. Drax, go to bed. Drink a big glass of water and go to bed. That's my advice to you, my dear lightweight boy. Bossasaur, as I'm a world traveler, I assume you've been to Tokyo. I have. Do you love Godzilla? I do. Have you seen the new Godzilla Hotel? No, I have not. I was last in Tokyo, damn, was it 10 years ago? I guess it was 10 years ago. Heavens. So I was in Tokyo for 3 days, Shinjuku, and I spent another 7 days in the rest of Japan, stayed in a lovely ryokan at the foot of Mount Fuji. I did see the Godzilla statue that is in Tokyo, but I have not seen the Godzilla Hotel. Maybe it's time I went back. Dragon, silliest moment from the fandom? There's millions of them. I don't know where to even begin. Geronimo Kali would like to know, we know that telephone is Tu's favorite fursuiter, so I ask, who is yours? I'm going to have to say Easy Wolf. Easy Wolf brought to life Colonel Dreer. Easy Wolf wears fursuits so naturally. He brings the characters to life. He is a master at it. I absolutely love the man. I adore his talent. So yes, that's my favorite fursuiter. The favorite suit is the Colonel Raiden Dreer suit, because I would not kick him out of my bed for eating crackers. I'm telling you, oh my God, I love that suit. Oh, Nyarian would like to know, have you ever drunk to the point you vomited on Winestream or in public? The answer to your full question is no. In public or on Winestream, no. In private, trying to kill pain or excessively celebrating, there have been times when I have felt the need to paint the lawn, but never in public and never on Winestream. Let's see. Bellaro Sparkle is going to complete the Great Breeble before next Anthrocon. Oh, I'm scared. Kane Koywolf would like to know, do you have a dream car? Any age, any brand, any budget? Well, if you're asking me to describe my dream car is a standard shift car that doesn't have a lot of unnecessary options, that gets more than 60 miles to a gallon of gas. That's my dream car. That's the answer from a 50-year-old man. There you go. Dragon wants to know, silliest moment from the fandom without fursuits. Oh boy. It's kind of hard to be silly without the fursuits. Being silly is what we're all about, though. That's sort of like saying, Kage, tell us about a time you ate lunch. Being silly is the joy of the fandom. I don't know if I could point to the silliest. Let's see. Bellaro Sparkle, you're just now reading the King James Bible. It's a wonderful, wonderful book. Try not to pay attention to a few of the plot holes that are in there. I mean, if they made a movie out of that, they'd have some trouble, There are a few things that don't get explained. Just do what everybody else does, just kind of gloss over those who pretend you don't see them. Let's see. What else is going on over here? Somebody said about the dream car, a DeLorean. I simply don't have time for a DeLorean. You get it? It's a DeLorean because all right, anyway, let's see. Spaz can see Kagi in a VW Bug. Hey, I go back to the 60s. I remember when those were big stuff. Flippy Snow would like to know, do you have a favorite cuisine? I am very, very partial to Japanese food, not sushi. I don't care for sushi. I am sort of the unusual furry in that aspect. I have been to Tokyo. I have been to the Tokyo fish market. And when I was there, the person I was with said, you're going to have sushi. And I said, I don't like sushi. And my friend said, you've only had American sushi. We're at the Tokyo fish market. You're going to have proper fresh sushi, the freshest in the world from the place it was invented. I have had the finest sushi to be made, so fresh it literally came off the fishing boat and into my face. I have had the world's best sushi, and I can now state with absolute certainty that I hate sushi. It tasted awful. Oh my God, I can't stand it. And my friend said, it just melts in your mouth. I said, look, meat is not supposed to melt in your mouth unless it's been sitting on the countertop for a week and a half, which this kind of tastes like. There was this little card on the table, had this wonderful red marbled, nice juicy meat. I said, I don't want sushi, I want that. Get me some of that. He looked and said, no, you don't want that. And I looked at it, I said, no, lovely, good, juicy, red marbled meat. Give me this. Tell the waiter I want this. And he said, you realize that's whale. Is there a KFC nearby we can go to? There is a KFC in Tokyo, and you know it's a KFC because there's a statue of Colonel Sanders in front wearing samurai armor. I am not making this up. It is the samurai Colonel Sanders outside of the KFC in Shinjuku. Mio Keter wants to know, how do you came up with the idea of ASL interpreters at Anthropon? Need. We were getting bigger. We had more and more people who do not hear so well. And, they were saying to me, is there anything you can do? We would love to partake, but we can't hear. When we were young, that is, Anthropon was young, we couldn't afford sign language interpreters. They can be expensive. Let's face it, now we're big. Money we got. And if we can make Anthropon available to people who otherwise wouldn't be able to enjoy it, damn it, we're going to do it because that's what we're here for. So I contacted SLIP, S-L-I-P, the Sign Language Interpreting Professionals of Pittsburgh. And I said, I need sign language interpreters. And the lady said, what sort of event is it? And I said, okay, work with me here. Actually, the folks from SLIP just fell in love with furries. They fell in love with Anthropon. They absolutely adore it, and that is great. They kind of fight over each other to see who gets to do it each year. Bick and Lauren, there are two. There are our two interprefers. As they came up with it, I didn't come up with it. They're the interprefers. The greatest thing that I saw, the absolute most remarkable thing that I saw, and again, I apologize if I'm repeating this story. This is for the folks who haven't heard it. 2 years ago, and it was the second year we had sign language interpreters, I received a communication from a gentleman who wanted to know if he could come to Anthropon. He is both deaf and blind. And he wanted to come with some friends of his who were also similarly constructed. They cannot see, they cannot hear. And that's a good challenge. What the heck am I going to do? How do we make Anthropon accessible to these folk? So I contacted Slip. It turns out that Bic is a tactile interpreter. I didn't know such a thing exists. You can do sign language on the hand of a person who cannot see. You can communicate tactilely the signs, and you basically hold the person's hand while you do the signs, and then they can interpret it. Bic is very good at it. Okay, bring Bic along. So I thought, so what do we do? What would they want to experience? What I came up with was the Fursuit Parade. There's a lineup down in Hall A of the Lawrence Convention Center. It lasts almost an hour. So I told Bic, bring the folks by then. He brought 3 of them. Delightful, wonderful, wonderful, charming people. He brought them along, and I went to certain fursuiters. I was looking for fursuiters that were tactilely interesting, like Jaeger. He's a big wolf, but he's got deer antlers, dragons with their horns, you know, strangely shaped, things that would be interesting. And I would go to them and I'd say to every single one, we have some people here who are both deaf and blind. The only way they can experience your suit is through touch. Is that okay with you? Not one person said no. Every one of them came right up, and I would say to Bic, okay, this is Jaeger. He is a deer wolf. And he would then tell the people, you know, whatever, this and all that. So I brought up, and then I brought up a bird. Oh, there's a bird, big blue jay. Yes, feathers, that'd be cool. And now here's a big puppy with floppy ears, and there's something. And then I saw telephone. Gotta have telephone. So I went and I got telephone, and I brought her over, and I said to Bic, this is telephone. Nobody knows what she is. And I saw Bic do this. Yep, that's the sign for telephone. And the 3 people kind of giggled a little bit, and then they started, you know, along those big ears and the little horns, and I saw their faces were like, because they couldn't figure it out either. What else is going on in this channel here? People are talking about various things. Hi. Let's see. Nyarian wants to know, have you ever tried surstreaming? I have no idea what it is, so I'm guessing I have not. Is it alcoholic? It sounds like it should be. Now, if it is something from Scandinavia, I am immediately suspicious because somebody once tried to trick me into trying lutefisk. I am not going near lutefisk. Yes, try some alkaline fish jelly. You'll like it. No, thank you. Aha! So surströmming is the same. It's fish jelly. I'm not eating none of your goddamn fish jelly. There. Ah! Raina Lee spilled your drink. That's alcohol abuse. Bossasaurus says, here at Pitt, we have the Hofbrauhaus. Have you ever been to the 400-year-old original Hofbrauhaus in Germany? I don't know if I've been to the 400-year-old original Hofbrauhaus, Bossasaur, but I have been in some beer gardens that were beer gardens before this continent was known to exist. So that's one of the joys of Germany. Everything over there is older than our entire country. That's the joke that To the Ranting Griffin and I came up with. We're over in Germany, and we'll look at a house. That house is older than our entire country. And then we'll see, like, you know, a wagon. That wagon, that's older than our entire country. A car would drive by. That car is older than our entire country. That's our joke. Oh, and by the way, Dark Lurker, I am older than your entire country. Oh, God. Geronimo Kamali, how many furry cons have you been to that you can name? Okay, that I can name. Good heavens. You'll have to get me offline because the list goes on and on. I have been in my career to more than 200 furry conventions. Yay, welcome to my life. So if I had to name them all, it would go on for some time. Let's see. There's a new con in the UK starting called Just for the Weekend. Tell them to invite me. Kane Coywolf, what are you eating for dinner? Well, I already had my dinner. I had some lovely meatloaf and some mashed potatoes and some sweet corn. You're having sausage and cheesy potatoes. That's pretty good. That's a very German-sounding meal. Let's see. Yes, Dark Lurker, I am older than your entire country. I am older than the Republic of Singapore. You guys were still, like, floating around trying to be part of Malaysia when I was born. Oh, God, I'm old. Let's see. People are talking about sushi still. Yay. Oh, Bentley Shepherd says, the yelling is becoming more prominent. You gotta love Uncle Cog. Are you calling me loud? Am I getting loud? No, tell me the truth. Do I get loud when I drink? I didn't think that I did. Do I? I'll have to work on that. Okay. Yes. James Blue Jay says, you're not older than Canada. My parents are. I'm seeing a lot of, yes, yes, hell yes, 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 oh heck yes, yes, very, yes, 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 yes. Wow. I didn't know that I got loud when I drank. That's news to me. Nobody ever told me. Maybe I should like turn the gain down on the microphone. Shall I turn the gain down on the mic? Tell me if I should do that. Yaron says, I have earphones in. Nah, I won't do it. I won't do it. The little devil on my shoulder wanted me to scream in the microphone just then, but I didn't do it. Oh boy. Meowcater. What was the worst FurCon you have ever been, or the funniest because of all the crap that happened? You know, Mio, it's either Meowcater or Meowcater. We'll just call you Mio. How's that? I can't answer that question. It becomes politically touchy. If somebody in my position were to tell you what I really think of some of the cons I've been at, it would reflect badly. When you are the chairman of a major furry convention, you lose the right to have your own opinion about a lot of things. And that, sadly, is one of them. Now, if you get me in private someday and fill me full of wine, maybe then I'll tell you. But in my world, there's always a camera hooked up to YouTube, so I must be extremely careful. I could answer your question. As a matter of fact, I'm thinking right now, but I dare not say. And Silent Dawn says, to get you to yell, we need to say something like, I can't be furry because I can't afford a first. Good try, but I'm not going to yell. And Spaz remembers when you had to get up to change the TV channels. Let's see. Oh, Narayan says, the chat works, but my vid just keeps buffering. Actually, Narayan, I've been having these paralysis episodes, so it's not the vid, it's me. I just occasionally will stop like that for no reason. Oh boy, Floopy Snow would like to know, which has been the toughest Anthrocon for me to run? Wow. They're all pretty tough. I would say Anthrocon 2006, our first year in Pittsburgh. We didn't know what to expect. We didn't even know if we were going to last. It was tense. It was tough. But we made it through, and I'm very glad we did. Let's see. Estragon, I've never been to a FurCon before. What am I missing out on? The most remarkable experience you will ever have. Estragon, you need to find a furry con to go to, a good one. Get 1,000 like-minded people together who just for that weekend are willing to enjoy one another's company and don't give a rat's ass what the rest of the world thinks. Also, so I would like Anthrocon night at PNC Park. Give me time. That's something maybe I can work on. Spaz would like to know, how many more Anthrocons will it take to make your hair go all gray? Maybe you're not paying attention, Spaz. Why do you think I keep my hair so short? Geronimo Cully asks, what would your reaction be if all the wine in the world suddenly disappeared? I would be sad, because I would have nothing to drink but wine vinegar at that point, and that stuff is very, very tart. Gummibjorn says it's not going gray, it's going away. Actually, it's not going away, thankfully, but it is going gray. Mio says there's still sake. There's a debate as to whether sake is wine. Some people say since sake is brewed, it should be more appropriately classified as beer. I classify sake as wine. If all the wine went away but the sake remained, I wouldn't miss it. And Drax wants to know what flavor of wine you're having tonight. Well, let's pull up the gigantic bottle. This is Peter Mertes. This is Platinum Riesling aus Rheinland. This is Rheinhessen wine. It is a lovely Riesling. This is 2014. And this bottle is colossal. It's my favorite kind. Oh, Furry Foxes. You say you'd like to try sake one day. Do me a favor, Furry Foxes. If you want to try sake, please do it somewhere where I am. I want to make sure if you're going to try sake for the first time, you must try good sake. I have noticed that people's opinion of sake will be determined for life by their first experience with sake. If they have a good glass of sake to begin with, they might well like sake. If their first sake is this disgusting restaurant sake that's been sitting and festering for a month, then they'll say, oh, I don't like sake, and they never will. Oh, King Coywolf says, of my bottle, that's almost as big as my bowling pin. Why don't you go ahead and say it? Yes. This is the largest bottle of wine that is available in my town. And I was looking at this before and looking at it and saying to people, yeah, there is something on Fur Affinity. There's a thing for this. But anyway, yes, it's blue. Oh, James is drinking a Swiss Reserve Riesling. Good for you. Furry Foxes, you'll be at Confuzzle. Okay, now that's difficult. I was not really able to find good sake at okay. Narion, I'm going to make a deal with you. No, you cannot get good sake at Confuzzled, but I shall bring some along. I will bring some proper sake for you to try. Make sure you come and find me early, because if you don't find me early, I might, drink it myself. But I shall bring some sake for you. And Jack is threatening to buy me some English white wine at Confuzzled and force me to drink it. Please don't do that. My first year at Confuzzled, the only wine they had was the house wine. So I got the house wine and I tried it. And the person next to me said, "How is it?" And I said, "Well, I see where it gets its name from. It tastes like an old house." And it did. Let's see. Oh, James Blue Jay says that the only country I've been to in Europe is Ireland. Is Ireland part of Europe? I don't know about that. Nyarion reminds me, I promised a drink for you after all because it will be my birthday. Okay, Nyarion, I'm both old and inebriated. 2 weeks or so before Confuzzled, please drop an email to me and remind me that I am to bring you some sake, because tomorrow morning I won't remember this conversation. Let's see. And Drax says, be more blue. Well, you don't need to be more blue. Right here. Just drink some of this. You do not get any bluer than this. 'Cause I'm bluer than blue, sadder than sad. That's a blast from the 70s for you right there. Okay. Bentley, is sake traditionally served hot or cold? It is traditionally served cold. Don't listen to these pissheads who try to tell you that sake is traditionally consumed hot. That's a load of bull steaming shit. They came up with that when they were first importing sake from Japan. The Japanese, when they started to export it, they're not going to export the good stuff. They exported the low-class crap over to the United States. And the people bringing it in came up with this mystic, hey, you're supposed to warm it up because that's what the Japanese do. No, you warm it up to kill the taste so you can't tell how crappy it is. Hot sake is an abomination before God and man. Geronimo Kali, will you be able to make it to the first Anthro Ohio? If they'd like to invite me, that would be a pretty good, incentive for me. Again, I wish I could go to every single furry con in the world, but I ain't that rich, and I ain't that unemployed. Oh dear. Estragon, I know you're a scientist. I love your rants on pseudoscience, but what is it exactly you're doing as a professional? Muddling along for the most part. No, I work at a contract laboratory, which means I do pharmaceutical research for other people who don't want to or cannot do it themselves. So I do other people's research for them and they take the credit. Welcome to my world. That's what I do. And randomly, if you want Kage to yell, just put a Q. Oh. Don't go there. Don't go there. Oh, James Blue Jay asks an outstanding question. Does sake age well? The answer is no, no. Oh my God, no, 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 no. Sake immediately starts to lose quality as soon as it's bottled. If you get sake from Japan, the bottling date will be stamped on it. By law, that has to be. And the Japanese put the year first, then the month. You want to find sake that is less than 1 year old. When it gets to be 1 to 18 months, it might still be good, but you're going to start to develop some off flavors. Beyond 18 months, it's going to start to get kind of bitter. Beyond 2 years, it can be downright unpleasant. So sake is meant to be consumed very, very soon. If you get a bottle of sake, oh, for Christ's sake, don't leave it sitting around for some special occasion. Just drink the stuff. And Yaron says, trying to get decent gluten-free food is a struggle. Actually, Narayan, sake may contain gluten. I don't know. It's made from rice, of course, but it has other adjuvants. You might check into that. Let's see. And yes, after 200 years, it becomes Nuka-Cola. Oh, God, yes, it will. Whatever that is. You kids and your video game references. James is asking Yarion, have you ever tried gluten-free beer? That sounds repulsive. You know, Yarion, about gluten intolerance, I recall going to a Japanese restaurant with a group of friends. And, we're going to go to a Japanese restaurant. It's going to be one of these teppanyaki restaurants. Very untraditional, very American, but what the hell. And everybody agreed this would be fun. We're going to go to this teppanyaki restaurant. And we planned for it. We're going to meet at this particular location. Then we'll all go to this Japanese teppanyaki restaurant together. So we did. We all met, and we all got together. We went to the restaurant, and we took up a whole table. And as we were seated and the waitress was taking our drink orders, one of the people decided that was the ideal time to tell us, "Oh, I'm allergic to soy." Try to find something in the Japanese cuisine that doesn't contain soy. I didn't say it. I didn't say it out loud, but what I was thinking was, "You stupid cunt. What the hell, dude? You're coming to a Japanese restaurant. What do you expect?" It put a bit of a damper on the evening. Yes, tamari is gluten-free soy sauce. It probably tastes like tar. I'm sorry. Oh, yes. Sorry, headphone person. I really didn't mean to do that. I guess I do get a little bit loud when I've been drinking. I apologize. Sorry, Narayan. I'll try to stay quiet, okay? So maybe I should put the gain down on them. I can put the gain down if you really want. I can do that. Now I feel guilty. I really am sorry. Yes, Reagan says, "Don't worry, the bleeding stops after only a few minutes." Oh, dear me. Okay, I should do it. It's settings here. Audio. It doesn't let me change the settings while I'm streaming. Oh, okay. Well, let's see what. Okay. How's this? Okay, how's that? It's a little bit better. I put the gain down a little bit. Tell me if that's better. Because if it is not better, I shall do something about it. Yes. Sorry. Okay, yes, we've turned it down. Just in time for Geronimo Colley to say, "Fuck Christmas, it's not even Turkey Day yet." Yeah, I know. I remember the good old days. Oh, now Jack says he can't hear. Oh, God damn, I can't win for losing here, can I? Oh, geez. All right. Polls up. Let's take a poll. Do I put the gain up or do I leave it where it is? Bossosaurus says I sound like I'm talking through a sock. Oh, God, there's no pleasing you people. All right. Here we go. Back to where it was. Better? Do you like that? Is that better? I recall a story that goes back many years at Eurofurence. It was their first year in Nuremberg. They were at a youth hostel, which is at Nuremberg Castle. Youth hostels in Europe, okay, it's not, the Taj Mahal. It's not, the Radisson, gold crown. They're very, very austere. And in this particular hostel in Nuremberg, if you take a shower, you have to be careful because you only have about 20 seconds of hot water. And then you don't have hot water anymore. So you're supposed to quickly put the water on you and then turn it off, and then you soap up, and then you hastily rinse it off and try to end at 19 and a half seconds before the icy frozen North Sea water comes cascading down on you. Nobody explained to me this quaint local custom. And I got up very early in the morning, as I tend to do. And I went to take a shower, and I was standing under this nice, toasty, warm water for 20 seconds. And then it wasn't toasty and warm anymore. I remember screeching and shouting something about fucking kraut showers, and just, wow, I was quite shocked. And I only found out later, that On the opposite side of the castle, this is a stone medieval castle. On the opposite side of the castle, two German furs woke up, and one of them said, "What was that?" And the other one said, "I don't know, but it was English and loud. It must be Uncle Kage." Yay. Vanessa Gahn says, "Ja, willkommen in Deutschland." Vielen Dank. Yes, it was better than having the lava pipes burn my arm. Yarian, you'd love to have some sake in an onsen in Japan. I've done that. An onsen is a traditional little country inn where you stay in a room with tatami floors and you sleep on the floor. The onsen, every room, has a private little hot tub that is hooked up to a volcanic spring and is naturally heated. I stayed in an onsen in Japan, and I sat and sipped sake while sitting in this water. And okay, if I could have stayed there for eternity, I would have. But at $1,000 a night, I could only afford it once. That was my bucket list thing. And now I've done it, I'll never do it again. But, oh my goodness, if you have the opportunity to stay in an onsen, and in fact, if you're going to be in Japan, I'll let you know the one I stayed in. Drop me an email. It was beautiful. It was spectacular. It was expensive as all hell. And I am so glad I got to experience it. Bentley Shepherd says, the chat keeps kicking me out. Jack, help out Bentley. The chat keeps kicking him out. Mio would like to know what is still on your bucket list. Actually, Mio, I don't have a lot left on my bucket list. I have been really very blessed. Most of the things that I really want to do, I've had the good fortune to be able to do. I don't really think there's anything enormous still on my bucket list. Geronimo Colley would like to know, do you like roller coasters? What was the last one you rode? I liked roller coasters back when my back was not made of glass. I cannot ride roller coasters anymore. It would be dangerous because my spine would shatter. It is collapsing. My age is showing, and I might wind up in a wheelchair in 15 years. We're going to find out. But the last roller coaster that I rode was at the time, Paramount King's Dominion in Virginia, and it was called the Big Bad Wolf. The Big Bad Wolf was the last roller coaster that I was on. Let's see. What's the last thing on my bucket list? Well, the last thing on my bucket list is dying. That's kind of the last thing on the list. As a scientist, that's sort of the last great experiment. You know, okay, I don't really look forward to it, but when it happens, I'm going to be doing my best to observe because, hey, I might not be able to report the results, but damn, you know, let's finally see what this is like. Yeah, we will find out. That is the last entry on my bucket list. Big Bear, oh, you said Busch Gardens. I'm sorry. We did them both in the summer. It was Busch Gardens that year. We did King's Dominion on Saturday, went to Busch Gardens on Sunday, I recall now. I still have a little stuffed Big Bad Wolf over there, as a matter of fact. Gummy Bjorn, if you end up in a wheelchair, you'd consider moving to the U.S. to push me around. You saying you want to push me around? You're going to push me around? Boy, I'll push you around. Kane Coywolf, you say you're new on the wine streams. How often do you stream? About once a month. My liver can't handle anymore. Generally, one time a month is when I do the streams. Oh boy, Furry Fox, this is 2:30 a.m. there, and you're still with us. Thank you very much. Roach on wheels sounds adorable. Okay, why do I now suddenly have a mental image of a little cockroach with 6 wheels? Oh boy. Oh. Yarian, you're debating. Yarian is debating having a damn hysterectomy. Let's talk offline, Yarian. Let's talk about that sometime, okay? Yeah. Let's see. Geronimo Kali says, I will never finish his bucket list because cockroaches can't die. I guess they can't, really. Let's see. Yes, the big bad cockroach. I'd ride it. Yes, a new roller coaster, the big bad cockroach. You go on and you're exposed to 119 different communicable diseases. Nom, nom. All right, what else is going on in this amazing channel down here? As I turn into that person who streams looking down here all the time. Yeah, I'm going to look at you now. I'm looking down here. Oh, Nyarian wants to know, how many lab coats do you have? I have my traditional one, the Mad Scientist Union. I have the one with Kagamushi on the back. I have one that To the Ranting Griffin gave me that says, Anthrocon, my fault, my problem, my con. I have a tiger-striped lab coat. I have a camouflage lab coat that I was given at Camp Ferrell. I have a lab coat that is covered with little rubber cockroaches. It's the most disgusting thing. I have a lab coat that is covered with little foam cutouts of magnets, and it says Fanboy Magnet on the back. It was given to me. What can I say? I have my actual work lab coat. I guess that counts. I have a lab coat that is made out of a plastic orange Jägermeister tablecloth cover. And I have a black lab coat. So I have 10 lab coats. Oh, Silent Dawn says, I need to see this tiger stripe lab coat. With Silent Dawn, as I recall, you're a white tiger, are you not? I could go and get the tiger stripe lab coat. As a matter of fact, maybe I could. Let's see. I'll tell you what. You guys hang on for about 45 seconds. I shall be right back. I'm going to the closet. Are you ready? This is just for Silent Dawn. The lab coat that I'm wearing, typically I only wear at Megaplex when I do an auction for the Care Foundation, which has tigers. They're a wildlife sanctuary with tigers. Let me finish buttoning it up here. Okay. All right, one more button. Okay, here we are, and here it is, the tiger-striped lab coat. See? It even has, see, the proper pockets down here. It's got the little slits here so I can reach inside and get to my wallet and everything. Even the buttons, if you notice, the buttons are even tiger-striped. This was made for me by a group of belly dancers called the Tiger Tribe in California. They basically do their belly dancing, and they dress up in tiger makeup and little tiger things, and they do belly dancing. Well, they kind of grabbed me out of the audience, brought me up and put a turban around my head and put this lab coat on me, and we danced, I guess is what you would call it. So yes, this is the tiger striped lab coat. And Silent Dawn says, "Oh my God, I want one! I love that!" Well, this is the only one of its kind in the world, as far as I know. And Mio says, "Kage needs to sing more often." No, I do not need to sing more often. You don't want to hear that. You people with the headphones already complaining about your ears hurting, I'd make your ears bleed. Yes, and Silent Dawn says, "Kage belly dancer. I used to be a lot better built, I'll have you know." Let's see. Bossasaur would like to know, are you reading any good books currently? I must say I'm not reading any good books. I'm writing things, but I'm really not reading as much as I used to. Shiloh would like to know, what's one of your favorite classic movies? I would be willing to bet that because of my recent activity on the Tweeter Twatters, somebody out there is bound to be able to state what one of my favorite classic movies is. I'll give you about 10 seconds. We'll see. Nobody's gotten it. Oh, well, maybe it's a lag. One of my all-time favorite movies is Casablanca. Humphrey Bogart. It is, oh, didn't mean to bump the table there, sorry. Casablanca is a masterpiece. It is one of the greatest films ever made. And it has one of the most powerful scenes in it. I linked it when the dreadful events recently in Paris occurred. There is a scene which resonates. Remember, Casablanca takes place in French Morocco after France has fallen to the Nazis. We have the French colonies, and southern France are still considered free France, but free is kind of in name only. They're still sort of under the German yoke. And there's a scene where a bunch of Wehrmacht soldiers are singing a wonderful German marching song very loudly in this little watering hole, Rick's American Cafe. And most of the people in there who are French are just kind of like, yeah, great. And a very seditious gentleman, a fellow who has spent time in a concentration camp before the world knew what concentration camps really were. We still thought they were prison camps, you see, and it escaped. While they're singing, he goes up to the band and he says, "Play the Marseillaise." And they're a little reluctant to, but the boss, Humphrey Bogart, nods, and they do. It is a moment of exquisite defiance that has lived on in the annals of film history. And of course, yes, I do like the Seven Samurai. Shichinin no Samurai. And Shiloh agrees, it is a haunting scene. They also had some of the greatest lines in Casablanca. A lot of you may not realize, you watched the old Warner Brothers cartoons. Since Casablanca was a fairly recent film when those cartoons were made, they lampooned a lot of the lines from Casablanca. Bugs Bunny's catchphrases came from Casablanca. You might have heard him say, "This looks like the beginning of a beautiful friendship." That's the last line of the film. If you've never seen it, hell, go watch it. It's clever. It might be a little bit dated, but it still stands the test of time. Beautiful exchange between Rick the American and the French inspector, played by Conrad Veidt, who says to Rick, he says, "What brought you to Casablanca?" And Rick says, "Well, I came for the waters." And the inspector says, "What waters? We're in a desert. There are no waters." And Rick says, "Well, I was misinformed." Just the way it's delivered. No actor today could do it the same way. Anybody tries to remake Casablanca, I will, like, beat people up. You cannot do it. Of course, that's not Hollywood style. Yes, Hollywood style. Yes, the remake of Casablanca, followed by Son of Casablanca, followed by Casablanca Strikes Back. Screw Hollywood. Let me fix this. You know, as big as this bottle is, it's starting to get rather light. Shiloh says, "I'm a big fan of the 70s B-movie scene. You want a 70s B-movie? Look up Mitchell. You need to see Mitchell. You know, Joe Don Baker, MST3K, did an absolutely spectacular send-up of Mitchell." And Balsasaur says, "Michael Bay's Casablanca." Oh, great. Yes, thank you very much for that mental image that I did not need. I saw something mysterious. Yes, Spaz! Used to watch the old Universal monster movies on Friday night. Universal created the horror movie genre. Dracula, Frankenstein, the Wolf Man. Oh, but I grew up on those too. Those old black and white horror films. Delightful. Absolutely delightful. Dragon would like to know, how many dogs must a cat fox before it birds? Dragon, I think you're cut off. Oh boy. And Urian says, one of the only old movies I've seen are Airplane, which I don't consider an old movie, and After Hours. Airplane, though, is also a timeless film. I have watched Airplane more than a dozen times, and every time I see it, I still see something that I hadn't seen before. And Gummibjorn says, how about The Crypt Keeper? Yeah! I grew up reading the Crypt Keeper comics, the Vault of Horror, the Crypt. Oh, God, all of the old EC horror comics. I think I still have them, as a matter of fact. The Crypt Keeper was one of my favorites. And yes, indeed, Joel Hodgson is kickstarting a new MST3K. However, with a new cast. You know, I love Joel. He's a great guy. But with a new cast, a lot of what made MST3K so special was the mixture that they had. I don't know if a new cast is going to cut it, but we'll see. I'll give it a chance. And James, yes. Good evening, boys and ghouls. Yeah. And James Bluejay brings up the Blackadder TV series. The sound of hoofbeats across the glade. Good folk, lock up your son and daughter. Blackadder is also one of my favorites. Rowan Atkinson is an underappreciated comic. And Balsasaur, you don't understand the bad blood between Mike and Joel. I don't either, but, you know, hey, it's between them. There's something we don't understand, so I'll respect that. Let's see. Yarian. Yarian, you got that wrong. It's, I have a cunning plan. That was Baldrick's line. Belrose Sparkle, what kind of Halloween ghoul would you like to be? I could probably pull off from the EC days. There were two characters. There was Cousin Eerie and Uncle Creepy. I could probably pull off Uncle Creepy very well. Randomly would like to know if I've seen the movie, Mr. Bean. Of course I have. I've seen just about everything Rowan Atkinson has done. You know, I think that is one of the things on my bucket list. I would like to meet Rowan Atkinson someday. And hopefully not drool and fanboy over him. I would like to meet him, and I would like to share a drink with him, and I would like to thank him for the hours of laughs, and I would like to tell him that I hope I don't embarrass him when I tell him that I believe he is one of the finest comics of the latter half of the 20th century. If only the world appreciated his vision. Let's see. And yes, Monty Python. I grew up as well with Monty Python. Some people say that Uncle Kage sounds like he has an English accent. I don't think I do. But if I do, it's because I was constantly listening to Monty Python's Flying Circus. I had albums, yes, LPs. I had the album of the soundtrack of the trailer of the film of Monty Python and the Holy Grail. I had Monty Python's Matching Tie and Handkerchief, which was an unusual recording. It was an LP record that had 3 sides. How is that possible? I don't know. But one of the sides apparently was double grooved because you could drop the needle and you would hear an entire side of the record. And when you started again on the same side, you would get an entirely different audio. Astonishing. Yes, a lovely line. James Bluejay reminds us, Baldric, you wouldn't see a subtle plan if it painted itself purple and danced naked on top of a harpsichord singing subtle plans are here again. Yurion, if you could raise enough money to get Rowan Atkinson on my Winestream, I would die a happy man. Heck, I just want to share a drink with him and thank him for the laughs. I recall speaking to someone who said they saw Rowan Atkinson at an airport. He was trying very hard to remain unobtrusive. It was very obvious he was kind of slinking along, trying to get from one gate to another. And my friend heard somebody shout, "Hey, look, it's Mr. Bean." And he turned and he saw Mr. Atkinson do this. Oh, God. Which, I could just picture it. Kane Coywolf, if you could go back to any day in history, where would you go? Now, that is a damn good question. You're asking me to limit it to one? Oh, man, I got an entire list. You bring up the DeLorean, I'll hop in and I'll start punching in dates. What's the first one I want to go to? Okay. Lexington and Concord. I want to know who fired that first shot. The shot heard round the world, they call it. I want to know. I want to go back to Boston in April of 1775. I want to see who hung the lanterns in the Old North Church, because to this day we don't know who it was. I would like to go back and hear Lincoln's Gettysburg Address. I would like very much to go back just to see Benjamin Franklin standing half naked, drunk off his ass, flying a kite in a thunderstorm, because that's cool. Let's see. Spaz. Okay, that would be a great historical science fiction thing. Don't carry a gun. What if I went back to observe Lexington and Concord and was so nervous I dropped my wine glass, and when it hit, it kind of pow, and broke, and then they started shooting. Oh God, I started the revolution. Okay. Going back in time, would you rather bystander, intervene, silent dawn? That's obvious. Bystand. I don't want to intervene. One cannot dare to intervene. You risk changing history. The butterfly effect, remember. The tiniest alteration of the historical timeline can have devastating effects in the future. Would I change anything? Absolutely not. There's been some rather nasty shit has happened in the past. There's been some tragedies. There's been some out and out, grotesqueries. But we cannot change any of them because every single one of them led inexorably to where we are right now. And unless I'm 100% positive that I could make it better somehow, I'm not going to risk changing it. Go back. I'm going to go back in time and kill Adolf Hitler. Okay, you go back in time and kill Adolf Hitler. Then Joseph Goebbels becomes the chancellor. Would that have been any better? Hitler was crazy. Goebbels wasn't. I don't know if I would want to kill Hitler. Gumi Bjorn wants to know if I ever kissed the Blarney Stone. Literally, no. Figuratively, yes. I have enough Irish in me to have the gift of gab. But I don't think you can kiss the Blarney Stone anymore because people started to worry about the spread of disease, which you could easily get. Let's see. Kane Clove would like to go back to May 10th, 1869 and watch the driving of the Golden Spike. Let's see. Oh, yes, a lot of people are saying, what if alterations already happened? Time travel is weird. Yeah, if you talk to the mathematicians, there's an infinite number of parallel universes. Okay, right now. I am holding this glass of wine. In the next moment, I could either take a sip or not take a sip. From the moment of that decision, two separate timelines are created. The one in which I took the sip and the one in which I did not take the sip. However, I can say with due certainty the one in which I did not take the sip does not exist because that's not going to happen. And Bossosaurus says, roommate tells me the time and space are the same thing. Are you familiar with this theory? Yes, I am. Remember, I'm a physical scientist. I'm a chemist. I deal with the observable. When you get into theoretical physics, you're kind of dancing in the realm of magic to me. When you talk about electrons that tunnel, when you talk about Schrodinger's cat, when you talk about, this and that, which could be in the my skepticism arises. I am an empirical scientist. I need data. I need observable data. Don't give me numbers. Don't give me equations. That's shit. I need something I can observe. I take a reaction. I pour these two things together. They turn red. I can observe that. I can explain it on molecular theory, but I can observe the results. Until you can take Dr. Brundle and transport him and combine him with a fly, I'm not going to believe in tunneling. All right? Time and space are the same thing. That to me is a philosophical construct until such a time as we can find a way to observe it, to illustrate it. And before any of you physicists jump down my throat, I will have you know I do not subscribe to quantum theory. I think it's crap. I do not believe in quantum mechanics. Ask me why. Thank you. Why? Because I took a course in quantum mechanics at Dartmouth from the eminent Robert Ditchfield, a brilliant, brilliant scientist. But he tried to teach me quantum mechanics, and he showed me the Schrödinger equation. It's this monstrous infinite equation with an infinite number of variables, which no supercomputer that can be conceived by man could ever possibly solve because it's infinite. We want to solve it, so we'll set it equal to 0. If you set it equal to 0, all those variables drop out and you're left with the eigenfunction, h psi equals e psi. Whoa, hang on, whoa, wait a minute, hang on, excuse me. Can we go back to this setting it equal to 0? How were you able to do that? And the answer was, well, you have to. If you don't set it equal to 0, you can't solve the equation. I said, well, hey, excuse me, wait. How do you know it's equal to 0? You can't just arbitrarily say, I think it's equal to 0 because it makes it easy to solve. What if it's not equal to 0? What if it's equal to 1? What if it's equal to 0.6? He said, well, then you can't solve it. I said, that's not my problem. Just because you want to have an easy day doesn't give you the right just to say, I think I'll make it equal to 0. On what basis can you set this monstrosity equal to 0? Give me a rationale. And his answer was, it's intuitively obvious. We're done. We're finished. That's when I went into organic chemistry because I can see that. Yes, Bossasaur, you started this. And Zrangan says, quantum mechanics is the reason we have LEDs, transistors, and much more. It might be... No, it's not. Physics is why we have that stuff. Quantum mechanics is just an excuse these people gave to try to hide their patents. That's my theory. Yes, Gummibjorn, Occam's razor. Occam's razor states that if you have an infinite number of variables, you need to get rid of those variables because then you can get an extremely close shave or your money back. I like organic chemistry. I am an old-time pot-boiling organic chemist. I was a synthetic chemist for a while. I made things. I'm a builder. I build molecules. That's my true talent. Not been able to do it for a long time because there's not a lot of call for builders like me anymore. They all went these stupid industrial guys who do analysis and shit like that. Mio would like to know, what is your favorite element? My favorite element is the element of surprise. I know, but if I had to say I have a favorite element, carbon. Organic chemistry, yeah, baby. Carbon is the balls. It is amazing. Now, Shukin Rash says, I enjoy a nice Italian Moscato and a 60% polished organic sake. That's lovely. Not in the same evening if you know what's good for you. Take my word for it. James Blue Jay would like to know if there's such a thing as inorganic chemistry. Yes, of course. Metals. Metallic chemistry. Everything on the periodic table that is not carbon pretty much is inorganic chemistry. That's with your weird d orbitals and your blah, 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 bullshit. Silent Dawn, I'm going to poke your eyes if you talk about unobtainium again. What the hell movie was it? Oh, was it, wait, was it that thing with the giant blue kitty boys in it? What the hell was that called? You know, that one where the aliens had the USBs in their hair they could plug into trees. What the hell was that? Yes, Avatar, yes. Unobtainium, really? Guys, that's the most clever thing you can come up with? Oh, for God's sake. I was rolling my eyes, and the guy across the way was rolling them back to me. It was, oh, God. Yeah, Avatar, yes. Yo, 9-foot tall blue kitty boys who have USB hair. Yeah, I really love that one. Reshere, what's the difference between organic and inorganic produce? Well, by you mean, okay, between organic and non-organic produce, non-organic produce is safer for you than organic produce. Anybody noticed, by the way, anybody noticed that these crunchy granola hippie cocksuckers who own this Chipotle thing, oh, we're all organic and crunchy granola hippies. Yep. Do you notice that they've been poisoning people with E. coli left and right? E. coli outbreak from here. E. coli. Oh, our natural crunchy granola hippie. We're putting shit on our fields and we're poisoning people with E. coli. I wonder why. When's the last time you saw a mass poisoning from pesticides? You ain't. But you see a lot of it from E. coli because that's what the goddamn hippies put on their food. Don't get me started on organic shit, okay? Let's talk about something else. What's going on down here? Let's see. Aren't boats made from floatium? Yes, boats are made from floatium, as a matter of fact, you dumbass. Okay. Let's see. What do you think about produce made from floating them? I must have missed something there. Okay. Yes, Shiloh, thank you very much. It's gluten-free, locally sourced E. coli. Yay. Restoray says, thank you for not shouting. Did I not shout? I thought I did. Okay. And Gumi Barn says, cheers, skull, prost, slante, kampai, gambe. We'll give you that one too. Okay, Shukin, have you seen The Martian? Okay, I saw Interstellar. I didn't care for Interstellar. I saw The Martian. I liked The Martian. Here's the thing about The Martian. They got the big science right. That kind of gave them some artistic artistic license on the little science. There were one or two things in The Martian that I said, wait a minute, hang on, guys, I don't know. But they worked so hard to try to keep it real that I was willing to let the little stuff go. What I thought was a good touch, because I was afraid they would gloss this over. If you haven't seen The Martian, turn the sound down now because there's a spoiler coming. Spoiler. I will put my hands up like this when the spoiler is done. Okay, ready? Turn the sound down now. He's been on Mars eating nothing but potatoes and, dry crackers for months. Did you notice in the last scene, not only was he very gaunt, but there were lesions on his body. His body was showing the signs of scurvy, of malnutrition. I thought, that's actually a good touch. I hate to say that scurvy is a good touch, but yeah, okay. We're good now. You can come back up, all right? Belarus Sparkle, anything you like to do with methanol? I wash glassware with it. That's really about the only thing you want to do with methanol. It doesn't burn well. It tastes awful. It'll make you go blind if you drink it. And believe me, there's better ways to go blind. Methanol is really only good as a cleaning solvent. Or if you're doing organic chemistry and doing synthesis, but that's neither here nor there. Next question. Boy, it got all quiet again. See, this is a problem when I do the unannounced streams. If I only have like 30 people in there, there's these big quiet periods. Yeah. Normally I'm pissing and moaning because stuff is going by so fast I can't. But now I kind of miss it. Okay, methanol is good for remote-controlled aircraft and cars, but I don't fly remote-controlled aircraft. I don't drive remote-controlled cars. Sorry. Estragon, my favorite color, blue. No, yeah. Ah! Sorry, had to. I am very, very fond of the cool colors. Blue, dark green. I am a cool color sort of person. Let's see. My favorite feline? Favorite feline? Hobbs. Hobbs the tiger. He is my favorite feline. Let's see. Oh, and it better be cheetah. Yeah, okay, cheetah's cool too. How's that? Oh, I just been banned. Sorry, Jack. Oh, Tani Darial. She is a Schnolf. She's not 100% feline. She is a snow leopard wolf mix, hence Schnolf, Schneewolf in German. I adore Tani. Tani was one of the first fursuits I ever saw and said, my God, that is beautiful. Not just because of the construction of the suit, but the way she wore it, the way she brought the character to life it just floored me. So Tani Darial was at one time for me the ultimate fursuiter. Tani is not here. She's gone to bed because, for goodness sake, it's 3 a.m. over there. Her art is indeed amazing, Shyla. You are correct. If you go to Tani's Fur Affinity page, there is one. Tani puts a lot of life and especially a lot of humor into her drawings. There's always something funny. There's always a joke in what she draws. She drew one called Why There Are No Spiders in Alaska. Just look for it. You'll be glad you did. And I will point out my little old mother, my dear and sainted little old mother who lives down the road. In her bedroom, you know how little old ladies in the bedroom, they've got like pictures of flowers and the picture of like the old guy praying over the bread and the little Dutch kid with the blue shirt. My little old mother's bedroom is decorated with the artwork of Tani Darial. So Mom's bedroom is basically a Tani museum. Her living room has Dark Natasha art in it. So yeah, my parents are furry. Oh, Spaz, don't get me started on dihydrogen monoxide. That's old. Let's see. And Yarian says, I admire and envy her artistry. Yeah, you've had enough, Yarian. Oh, how about Electrofencer? My dear and sainted mom, I don't believe is met Electrofencer. Electrofencer is spectacular. Did you notice when Leonard Nimoy passed away, within like 17 seconds, Electrofencer had made a commemorative painting? It's just unbelievable how much talent. Electrofencer, pardon, she has got more talent in her little finger than I have in my little finger. I cannot say enough good things about her. Silent Dawn, did your parents discover the furry fandom before or after you did? They discovered it after I did. I had been involved in furry fandom for a little less than 10 years. I officially incorporated, Anthrocon Incorporated, in June of 1998. My first year as chairman was the summer of 1999. And my well-meaning and naive parents said, is there anything we can do to help you with your convention? Yeah, they wound up running Constore that year. Like Howell, my favorite scientific project you've ever worked on. Oh God, I've worked on a lot of scientific projects. My own, I guess. I was working on a therapeutic agent for hepatitis B. To this day, I still believe I found it. The molecule that I developed had a lot of promise. It was active, submicromolar activity, orally bioavailable, non-toxic, non-mutagenic. It was like, holy shit, we found it! That's when a big company who kind of saw a threat in our little company decided we're going to buy that little company and dismantle it and bury their discoveries. That's when I talk about industrial science. They took my molecule and they shelved it, and when I inquired about it, they said, it's not marketable. So they had no plans to do anything with it. So I published that motherfucker. Now they can't do anything with it. Yes, Narayan has put up down here, why there are no spiders in Alaska. Go look, you'll be glad you did. Mio wants to know, what was your first reaction you heard your parents went to go to a FurCon? Okay, Mio, I'm going to tell you a story. My parents wanted to know if they could help out with Anthrocon, and they did. And they helped out every year ever since. I started going to Eurofurence, I think it was EF8 was the first year I was invited. Somebody correct me. Was it EF8? I think it was. So I was invited to be guest honor at Eurofurence at EF8. And I went back at EF9, and I just had the absolute ball. I went back at EF10, and I was in love. And I came home, and I told stories about it, and I showed pictures. In 1956, my parents were married. As we were coming up to the year 2006, we're coming up to their 50th wedding anniversary. Now, I said to my parents, hey, that's a big one. It's coming up. You name it. What would you like to do? Where would you like to go? I will send you there. I figured, okay, old people, Niagara Falls, Alaska cruise, something like that. I made the offer, and they didn't hesitate. They said, we want to go to Eurofurence. Okay, great, yeah. So I contacted Cheetah. I said, dude, my parents want to spend their 50th wedding anniversary at your convention. Well, Cheetah went apeshit. He went bananas. And as George Carlin says, bananas is apeshit. But anyway, he sent back to me, he said, I need two things. I need a picture of your parents from back when they were dating, you know, and I need to know what song they danced to at their wedding. The picture's not a problem. I'll be right back. Let me see. I think I got it right here somewhere. Yeah. All right, here we go. Yeah. Okay. Picture's not a problem because I got it right here. This is my dear and sainted parents in 1956 when they were still dating. That's them. So I gave this picture to Cheetah. But what song did they dance to at their wedding? Oh my gosh. How do you find that out? Okay, what song did your parents dance to at their wedding? Do you know? How do I find that out? It's going to be tough. I can't ask. Say, Mom, I'm just idly curious with your 50th wedding anniversary coming up. What song did you dance to at your wedding? No, that would give it away. Now, you all know that I have had professional training in media relations. That works both ways. See, I also am trained in what's called competitive intelligence. How to get information out of people without them realizing you're looking for information, because that's what the media does. My mother was working at the time at a little delicatessen. She was just working there at lunchtime to make some extra money. Now, sweet little old lady working the counter at a deli, all the people loved her. You know, she was very popular, and she had her customers, her regulars came in just to see little old Wilma. And I went in one day, and I started engaging some of her regular customers in conversation. Specifically, I started telling them about her more carefree younger days when she used to ride with the motorcycle gang in Philadelphia. Yes, she did. And I told them about how she would ride around on her Norton and how they were hooligans and they would steal engines out of cars and they had a chop shop and all that. And it was vroom, vroom, vroom. She doesn't like me to tell people that story because that's That's in the past, right? We're going to forget about that. And these are her customers. So she got very upset and she started throwing things at me, increasingly larger things to shut me up. And about the time she threw the soup tureen at me, I ducked and I said, "Oh, don't give me that, lady. Oh, for God's sake, we all know when you got married, you danced a wild thing." And she said, "That's not true. It was red sails in the sunset." I said, "Oh, really?" Red sails in the sunset. So I sent that to Cheetah. With the help of Furry Fandom, I put the word out to friends and I said, "Hey, I want to do something special for my parents. Would you like to chip in?" We did, before there was a GoFundMe, we did a little private fundraiser. We got together enough money from very, very generous folk to get first class tickets for my parents. We flew them first class from Philadelphia to Germany. We got them to Nuremberg and set them up. The Germans, they just pulled out all the stops to treat these people royally. There was a plan. Heather Alexander at the time was performing at Eurofurence, and my parents just loved listening to her. And after her performance, I took them out onto the castle battlements to look out over the city of Nuremberg at night, which is delightful. This wonderful old German city. But I had them out there as a distraction. And after we were out there maybe 7 or 8 minutes, one of the Germans came into the doorway and gave me a high sign. So I said, "Let's go back inside." And Mom said, "Oh, no, I'm enjoying the view. I want to stay out here." I said, "Oh, but Heather Alexander would like to meet you. She's very excited to meet you." And Mom said, oh, yes, let's go inside." So I took them inside. In that 6 or 7 minutes, they had broken down the auditorium, all the chairs, the stage. They tore it all out. They had laid down a dance floor. And when I brought them in, the entire convention membership was standing around the dance floor, everyone holding a candle. The room was lit by 400 candles. And projected up on a screen way up here was that self-same picture, this one here, that I had sent to Cheetah, my parents in their youth. And Mom sort of went, uh-oh, and started back up. I pushed them both out on the dance floor. And Cheetah queued up the song. Nat King Cole, "Red Sails in the Sunset." You should look it up. It's a beautiful song. Red sails in the sunset, way out on the sea. Carry my loved one home safely to me. That's the song they danced to at their wedding. And they danced to that song that night 50 years later in Nuremberg, surrounded by furries, lit by candlelight. After the convention, I took them by train, first class train, to Paris. We spent 3 days in Paris. I showed them all the Paris sights, and it culminated with dinner in the Eiffel Tower. At the Altitude 95 restaurant, dinner in the Eiffel Tower at sunset overlooking Paris. And today, if you ask my parents about their 50th wedding anniversary, the only thing they talk about is dancing to their song at Eurofurence, surrounded by furries and lit by candlelight. One of the greatest stories to come out of furry fandom, and it was the Deutsche Furs who made it happen. One of the reasons I love them so much. My parents went back to Eurofurence every year for the following 9 years. They couldn't go back this year. You know, time is unkind to all of us. They've been around for quite a long time, and they've had quite a lovely run of it. My father is starting to feel the years, unfortunately. Quite to his dismay, he has always been a powerful man. And to feel his age now is very, very distressing to him. How strong is my dad? Back in December, he indicated to my mother that he was feeling dizzy. This upset my mom. She called me, "Your father's feeling dizzy." And I went forthwith to check him out. I went through all of the, stroke, all of the central nervous system things. He wasn't showing any of the symptoms. He just felt dizzy. And I couldn't find anything wrong. I called my brother-in-law, who's a physician, and I said, "I've gone through all these. I'm lost." So he said, "Well, if he doesn't have any other symptoms, let's try treating the symptoms. Let's get him some Dramamine." So I got him some Dramamine, and he said he felt better. But the next day I was at work, and Mom called and said, "He's worse." "Okay, we're done. Take him to the hospital. Wake Med is just up the road here, Wake Medical Center. Take him up to the hospital." This was Christmas time last year. I happened to have a furry friend, an old furry friend from Singapore, Decker, his name, a SWAT cat, by the way, he is. He was at my house. Now, he was a medic in the Singaporean army many years ago. I called him up and I said, "Do me a favor, go down to my parents' place, make sure they get to the hospital." So he did, and I'm very, very glad he did, because my dad, being an old Southerner, he was like, I don't want to go to no hospital. It's just full of doctors and sick people. I don't want to go. And Mom was going to give in. Of course, Decker came in, former Army sergeant. That's it. Up to, get up. Here we go. Yep, up. They took him to the hospital, and they put him through a battery of tests, and it was very, very confusing, because everything they thought might be wrong, he was perfectly fine. Then they checked his blood sugar. His blood sugar was 960 milligrams per deciliter of blood. Normal blood sugar is between 80 and 100. 120 is indicative of a pre-diabetic condition. My father's blood sugar was 960, at which point your average human being would be in a coma. My father, though, felt dizzy. That's how strong a man he is. And to have that powerful fellow now feel his age, to not be able to really move around much, to not be able to go to the kid playing music next door too loud and pick him up and throw him into a rose bush, it makes my dad a little depressed. Boy, what started that? Where'd that come from? Somebody asked about it. I don't know where that was going, but that's me. Tough old geezer? Oh, hell yeah. My dad defines tough old geezer. He has had some things happen to him that most people would be not only dead, but kind of flat. And my dad tends to walk away from them. He was a drill instructor in the U.S. Army. He was basically the R. Lee Ermey of his day. Now that should give you a bit of an idea about my mom, because my father was a very powerful, very tough, indestructible man until he was standing on a street corner in Ardmore, Pennsylvania. Fresh out of the United States Army, just discharged. Here I am, Southern farm boy up in the north. What am I going to do? When, as they say in those parts of the world, up the pike came roaring this Harley Davidson with this leather-clad individual on it, gunning the engine. Vroom, vroom, vroom. She got off the bike, walked up to him without a word, punched him in the gut, and he just went down at her feet like a bunch of broccoli. 6 months later, they were married. If you don't believe that story, tune in to the next Winestream, because my parents live just down the road. They moved down here to North Carolina because I've been looking after them for so many years. When I moved down here, they wanted to move with me. I recently was helping Mom move some stuff in her closet, and what did I find but her old motorcycle jacket? Tune into the next Winestream. I'm going to nick it from her house, and I'm going to have it here, and I will show it to you. My mom's old 1950s vintage motorcycle jacket, in case you thought I was lying. Now, Gummy Bjorn, you say, will they be at the stream? Maybe I'm a coward, but I never told them about my wine streams. They don't know I do this. I think that I'm afraid that Mom will want to come up and drink the wine. The problem with my mom is when she has too much wine, she starts to talk. You know, she starts to talk. And this is my stream. I don't want her talking about some of the things that she's likely to talk about. So they don't know about the stream, and they're not going to know about the stream. Thank you very much. It's my stream, okay? And my wine, and my stories. Actually, Void Cat, it's not a leather jacket. It is silk. It's leather and silk, as a matter of fact. She was a girl. Girls had silk on their jackets, too. Yarian says, did you know you can fit a light bulb in your mouth but cannot get it back in? Yarian, where the hell did that come from? Go to bed, you've had too much. Dragon says, certain dragons might say it's their wine. No, it's my wine. Thank you very much. Has anybody ever been to Anthrocon when Uncle Kage's been there with his wine, and Uncle Kage is being Uncle Kage with his wine, and suddenly this little old lady's hand comes in and just takes it away from him? That's not going to happen on my wine stream. Thank you very much. Going Bjorn, no, you're not getting my mom's phone number. Her phone number is unlisted. Actually, she doesn't have a phone, so you can't call her. Sorry. Oh, well. And, oh boy, Furry Foxes should go to bed too. Furry Foxes, it must be very, very late for you. Yes, I think you should go to bed. In fact, I should probably go to bed sometime soon, because this bottle's not empty, but it's getting very close to it. Oh my God. And the room is doing things that it doesn't often do. Wow. Oh, okay, I shouldn't look up. It gets very disorienting. Estragon, going to bed. Thank you for joining us tonight, Estragon. You're welcome. I'm glad you can make it to the stream, and I look forward to seeing you again very, very soon. As a matter of fact, I'm going to finish this glass, and then I'm going to call it a night. But the glass isn't finished yet. Any final questions that you'd like to ask? This is your chance, because I am sort of, let's just say my inhibitions are low. Ask whatever you'd like. And nobody says a word. It's that 4.1 second lag there. Shiloh says, ... That is S. That is S in Morse code. Thank you very much. Furry Foxes, how many fingers do you see? I don't see any. In fact, I see mine. I see 10 of them, but I don't see any others. Drax says, can you finish that bottle on stream? No, probably not, because I'm starting to feel it already. Shuken Flash, what are you drinking tonight? I am drinking Peter Mertes Platinum. This is a Rhineland Riesling, and yes, the bottle is that big. This is one of the biggest bottles you can get in the area, so of course I bought it. Dragon, what really goes on behind the scenes at conventions? Well, Dragon, maybe you could volunteer and you'll find out firsthand. Spaz, ever had an experiment go wrong? Constantly. That's why it's called science, my boy. The general rule of thumb is if your experiment works right the first time, you did it wrong. Oh, Yurian has a fursuit, which I will see at Confusal. It's a purple fox/snow leopard with 209 hand-sewn spots and a happy face. I will like it as we are drinking sake together. Do not forget to send me the email to bring me the sake. Shiloh, have you ever taken a random road trip to just anywhere? Actually, yes. Long road trips, no. I don't like long trips. But when I was living in Vermont, I was in the town of White River Junction, Vermont, just across from Hanover, where Dartmouth is. One day, I just decided I was going to take a drive. And I just drove. You know, this is the days before GPS. But in the days before cell phones, I figured I'm just going to wander. I can always get directions back. I just drove. I found a nice road and I got on it. And I found another nice road and I got on it. I just went. I wandered. It was lovely. It was almost like being an old-time explorer. Taking small roads, taking big roads, going through the woods, going through the mountains. And I came around a bend, a left bend, and there was a straight stretch of road. And there was what looked like a toll booth in front of me. I thought, oh, I hope I have some money. There's a toll booth ahead. And when I got closer, I saw there was a sign on it that said, Bienvenue au Québec. Uh-oh. I think I must have gone a little bit of a long way. And there wasn't anywhere really to turn around. It was a little narrow road. So I drove up to the little toll booth, and I rolled the window down, and I was going to say, excuse me, I need to get back. And he said, citizenship. And I said, USA. Look, I'm trying to get back to. He said, how long do you expect to be in Quebec? And I said, about a minute. And he scowled. I said, well, I'm lost. I didn't mean to be on this road. I don't want to be in Quebec. I'm trying to get back where I came from. He said, where are you trying to go? And I said, well, I'm trying to go back into Vermont. He said, you're going the wrong direction. I said, I understand that. Yeah, the signs were a dead giveaway. I figured, yeah, I'm probably going the wrong way. What do I do? How do I get back? So he said, you're going to go up there, you make the turn, and you come around, and that is bad. But I will be watching you. All right, so I kind of went up, and I went in this little U-turn, came around, and I came back, and I was terrified that I was going to get to the U.S. side, and the guy was going to lean in and say, citizenship. But this was the old days. You know, he just kind of waved me through. Yeah, I saw the whole thing. I kind of miss the old days of crossing the border. I'm friends with an old school furry artist by the name of Wolf Kid. You might have seen Wolf written on some signatures of art. Wolf, when I knew him, was a military reenactor. He specialized in Revolutionary War and War of 1812, specifically War of 1812 era. He and his group had gone up to Canada to do a reenactment, I think, of the Battle of Kingston or something, whatever, something like that. Sorry, Queenston, same thing. When they were coming back, they were stopped at the U.S. border. And the border guard leaned in and said, do you have anything to declare? This is an American border guard, by the way. Do you have anything to declare? And Wolf, being a very honest man, said, yes, I do. Let's see. We have 22 muskets. We have 14 kegs of black powder. We have 73 boxes of musket balls. We have 2 9-pound cannon, and we have 24 9-pound cannon balls. And the border guard looked at him and said, "Do you have any fruit?" And Wolf said, "No." The border guard said, "Be on your way." Yeah, welcome to America. Let's see. Schn Flash says, as I get rid of this shit, Riesling, blah, blah, would you be interested in trying some if I brought this organic sake from Oregon? Okay. Shukin, you're a lovely person, but listen. Please don't ever say organic to me. It makes my hackles raise. And if it's an Oregon sake, I'm a purist. Sake comes from Japan. I have never had an American sake that I liked. I will try it. I'm not going to say I won't try it, but I'll apologize in advance if my snooty palate gets in the way. But by all means, we'll give it a go. But organic and me, they don't mix. Organic chemistry, good. Organic food, yeah, fuck that. Oh, Nyarian, what did you want me to email you with? Nyarian, as we get closer to Confuzzled, maybe 2 weeks out, send an email to me to remind me to bring you some sake, because I am old and I am inebriated. I will not remember. You must remind me, and I promise I will bring you some good sake. And the glass is empty. I could probably go on. I might even try to finish the bottle, but all good things must come to an end. And I do have duties to attend tomorrow, as many of you know. So I don't want to get too terribly fucked up. Screwed up. Messed up. Sorry. Yes, you know what I meant. Okay. As always, I want to thank you all for spending time with me tonight. And I hope that I was at least in some small way able to entertain you. That's what I'm here for. Those of you who are my patrons, I love you to pieces. The fact that you give me money for this bullshit still flabbergasts me, but I really hope I make it worth it to you. If it's not worth it to you, for God's sake, tell me. I'll try to make it worth it. I want you to get your money's worth. For those who aren't patrons, that's okay. I am just glad to be able to put a smile on your face. That's what I'm here for. That's what all entertainers are here for. If you forget your troubles, if you just have a good time, that's great. That's why we do it. So I'm going to hit this stop streaming button here for right now, and I'll invoke my beloved old mentor, if I can call him that, Red Skelton. I always loved him and the way he would sign off. Very, very simple. Good night, and God bless.